Thanks for joining us tonight, Castle Mac. Tonight we're presenting Shards of the Past. We will be telling a new tale tonight. New world, new characters, heroes? Not sure.
Me, yes. We'll find out.
We'll see. But before we proceed too far, I would like to give a kind of an introduction to the world and the characters. So bear with me as we dive into this world. Maladross shines brighter than most in the cosmos, for it is here that the Aether, the source of all magic, is at its strongest. Its moons Myrdra and Hex are both home to beings of godlike powers as they weave their plots and their machinations on the world below. But underneath all of that lies the Unlife, the force which is the beginning and the end of all true evil, whether its servants know it or not. The Unlife itself is not a single intelligent entity. It's a collective energy which may or may not possess what we call awareness. Its servants, however, are all driven essentially by the same goal, death and destruction. Today is a good day for the Unlife, as a rising conflict on the continent of Maralta comes to a head. It soon will become more. As the clouds are swept away and the continent of Maralta comes into view, we see the Empire of Therracaeia, simmering with discontent, bloody confrontations, and bitter infighting among the Imperial legions. On one side stand the Imperialists, fanatically loyal to the 14th Emperor Rextoran Lambraxus. On the other side, the Theocratic Union, followers of the Emperor's daughter Hestia, who is said to possess the power of the gods. It is the Emperor's first law that has divided the Empire, the rule of strength, that states, if you are not fit to fight, you are not fit to rule. Not seen in battle for 10 years, many question if the Emperor is fit to rule. His daughter, Princess Hestia, has been on the front lines of every major battle in the last 5 years. When the armies of Breakstones poured out of the Erector Mountains and sieged the northern territories, it was Hestia who led the 3rd and 10th legions against the invasion. Or when the Ogre Kingdom of Xerxad attacked the free cities of the south, it was again Hestia who rallied the Minotaurs of Mintaros to sail against the Ogres and push them back and secure the southern borders of the Empire. Many believe the Emperor should stand down and let his daughter rule, but the Emperor claims that if she indeed does have the blood of the gods, she is not his daughter, and therefore has no right to rule.
Well.
As of yet, there have not been any major engagements, but it is only inevitable. We now go to the city of Jarissa, the Rock of the Empire, named so mainly because of the tall stone towers that dominate the harbor of the city, but more recently because it has remained neutral so far in this debate of rule. Jarissa is also the economic and strategic center of the Empire. Its location on the shores of the Lake of Dreams, 2 major waterways, and the Great Road make it vital to the growth and security of Therracaeia. Many feel that Jarissa will be a flashpoint for the civil war that is to come, as many on both sides of the debate can be found within the city. Mercenaries from Daringhall, adventurers seeking glory, war profiteers, and many others with outside interests flood a city already at capacity. Gold and fame are at hand, and everyone must choose a side or be swept away in the conflict to come. We now move to, what is it? I want to call you Jane.
No, it's Raina.
Raina. Now do the
Jane is my sister.
Okay. She's also, anyway.
I think it was implying she was a lady of the evening.
So, Raina, you have
which is fine.
Been in the Empire for about a year now. When you arrived in the Empire, you were bloodied, battered, confused, unsure of even where you were when you arrived. The Temple of Athena welcomed you, but they also saw something dark in you, and they cast you out of the temple. This did not sit well with you, and you wandered the lands of the Empire for almost a year now, looking for some way to fit in, some purpose. As your travels, you realized that you needed to become part of something, some group. The only group that you found that would probably accept you were a group called the Bounders, Imperial Bounty Hunters. It seemed odd at first for you, but there was a sense of justice and right for the Empire. You may not be a citizen of the Empire, but you might be able to do some good with that. You went back to Jerissa in hopes that you could get maybe a recommendation from the priests of Athena. Oddly enough, they were very willing to give you this recommendation, feeling that as long as you were not part of the temple, they were fine with it. So, as you were walking through the streets along the docks, you look over and you can see the 3 stone pillars that dominate the harbor. You can see, on top of these stone pillars are the market of the city, the kind of the hub, the economic center of the city. You see faces etched on the outside of these pillars. There are 13 of them, each representing a former emperor of the Empire of Therracaeia. Men and women alike. Some of them are larger, some of them are smaller, some of them are a little bit higher placed on the pillars, some are a little bit lower. You never understood the significance of it because the politics of this empire never really meant a whole lot to you, and you never delved too deeply into it. Your focus is getting to the Fold. The Fold is the headquarters of the Bounders in Jerissa. But within the city, there's so many people. It's just packed. It's like shoulder to shoulder. As you're moving along the docks, you're kind of being pushed left and right. You're staring up, and as you look at one of the pillars, you see a bit of a wonder, something you've heard of and never really saw before. You see this, what looks like a sailing ship moving through the sky. Above it is a large...
That's my boy's jam. I heard him tense up.
Is it a real ship or is it just like an illusion?
No, it's real.
It's real?
Yeah, yep. It basically, think of it like almost like a dirigible, where it's like a big balloon that has these like bands of steel around it, and then an actual full-size sailing vessel underneath of it.
That's pretty cool.
You can also see these propellers on the back that seem to be pushing along. It's the only ship you see in the sky.
Do I know what it's for?
Yeah, it's a sky ship. You know that there is a city that floats about a mile above the sea, off in the reach somewhere.
Neat.
Never been there.
I want to go.
Tight.
But
and then you said the temple that kicked me out because of my darkness was the Temple of Athena.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. You've actually already been there.
Yeah. But no.
I mean,
today.
Yes, you've already have the writ, and you're on your way to the Fold.
Okay.
Which is the headquarters of the Bounders.
Yeah.
You see the ship slowly, and it looks like it's actually docking and staying like in the air up at one of these massive pillars. The pillars are anywhere from 100 to 150 feet tall, but they're massively wide because they're like almost like
big enough to have like a market on top of them.
Multiple market. I mean, it's huge. Oh, wow. It's huge. As you're kind of distracted and looking up, you get this scent that kind of overwhelms you. It smells like. It's very musky. It smells like maybe like a horse or a barn. And all of a sudden, the crowd just kind of parts in front of you. In front of you, there's a mat of fur on a humanoid creature that is white with like gray matting. And you literally bump into this creature. And as you look up, you see these 2 massive horns on its head. Immediately, you recognize it as a minotaur. They are not uncommon, although they have a city to the south. Mm-hmm. They are known to be mercenaries. This particular one, his horns are all bronzed as they kind of curl down. There are different etchings and like gems and rings and things that are hanging off of it, and it just looks down at you and just snorts at you, and snot and spittle just flash into your face.
You didn't have to add that part.
I did. And you cover it up, and he just swats you aside like you're nothing. You get thrown to the side. You hit a couple other people. They hit a couple other people, and 2 or 3 people fall into the bay. As he just moves past you, you see that there are about a dozen of them. They're moving in like a triangle through and just pushing their way through the crowd. And they are armed to the teeth. They're heavily armored. They've got great swords and axes, and 2 of them have these crossbows made of metal that are almost as large as you are. And they just make their way through. And as they're going the opposite direction, obviously, that you are. And you see a group of legionnaires confront them, and some kind of exchange happens, but you're kind of swept away in the crowd. You still have the parchment in your hand, and you make your way. You finally find your way to the Fold. It's a short stone building, as are most of the buildings in the Empire, because there are these storms called the Aether Storms, which are basically magical storms that are effectively hurricanes that move over land. And the Empire, for some reason, is plagued heavily by these storms. So none of the buildings are rarely ever above 3 stories, and they're all made of stone. This one is just a single stone. There's some stairs leading up, and above the doors before the entrance, there is like a dull, dark gray wolf's head. And that's the symbol of the Bounders. You see 2 figures standing up on the stairs. You see a woman. Both of them look like they're from Therracaeia because there's a very distinct look to them. She's got like a pair of swords on her back, a short sword and a long sword that are matching. She's wearing a chain shirt. The man looks to be holding a spear and a short sword, and there's a large shield leading, and they're just talking to each other. They have dark gray cloaks with like a wolf's pin, a wolf's head pin that matches that up. And as they see you come up the steps, they both kind of give a derisive laugh at you as you're making your way up.
Like a bitchy laugh?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Covered in snot.
You didn't have to bring that back up.
I'm assuming you probably
You washed it off.
might have washed some of the
I
spittle
dove into the bay with this.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, that's a bummer.
The bay cleans you. Somehow your hair blow dried at the end. So
Yes.
it's perfect.
Yes. Thank you.
Warlock special.
It was the magic storm.
Yep. So you walk up. You don't have to interact with them if you want, or you can just head on in to the fold, is what they call it, which is the headquarters. You can hear a lot of noise on
But
the
I know
side.
that they're like part of the fold,
You suspect that they are.
and I need to get in with those people.
Well, you have an in with them.
Yes,
in your
but
hand.
I haven't made any.
You don't understand the politics of it or any of that.
Yeah, then I wouldn't bitchy laugh back because
Okay.
I want to fit in.
Okay.
I want to get invited to your lunch table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, again, they just kind of go back to what they're doing.
I cry.
Okay. Awesome.
I don't. I think I would meekly pass by them.
Okay. They don't even pay attention to you.
Fine.
And and you walk into what looks like at one time was maybe a feasting hall or a mead hall or something. There are tables lined along the sides. It's very long and kind of narrow. And you see what you can assume to be, in some places, you see what seem to be maybe applicants for the Bounders. In other cases, on one side and on the other side, you see Bounders themselves. They seem to be kind of reporting in and doing kind of
Right.
paperwork and such. We'll pause there.
Okay. Wait, can I just summarize so I know exactly what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
So I received some orders to go and join the Bounders
You received basically kind of like a recommendation from the
recommendation.
Temple of Athena.
because they felt bad for kicking me out.
Kind of. Or maybe they just didn't want to deal with you anymore.
Okay.
Or they were afraid to deal with you.
That bingo,
Pick that one.
dicks.
You definitely felt when they kind of cast you out, and you know why they kind of cast you out.
My heart knows.
Yeah. That they seemed to be a little afraid of you, and they didn't really say it. It was kind of an unspoken thing.
Okay.
But something that you understood. Jag. Being a tabaxi, or as your people call yourselves, the Brinshi. The tabaxi or the Brinshi are varied, much more varied than is really understood. There are really 3 types of Brinshi. There are domesticated or house Brinshi. There are runners, which you are, and then there are the feral or primal ones. And they actually physically look different depending on what they are. The domesticated ones look like bipedal cat or house cats. They're not very strong. They tend to be more intellectual. They don't adventure, that type of thing. But it actually
Knock stuff off desks.
yes, exactly. They're just physically not as imposing.
They nap a lot.
The runners who tend to be like you are, who tend to be out and about, and they're the typical adventurer. So the stats for what you have is what is in the book.
Sure.
The primal or more feral ones are larger, like more jungle cats, like Bengal tigers and lions and things like that. You had a good life.
So far, so good.
You had a good life. Right?
Yeah.
But
It all has to come
as you were kind of reflecting back, you're immediately jolted back into reality as the manticles on your wrists and ankles are binding in. The ship that you're in is swaying back and forth. You're a bit nauseated from it, and you just kind of push your mind back and try to think back to where you were. Again, life was good. because in the continent of Brahmasa and the Tenisu province, you were in the jungles. And for some reason, the locals there worshipped you as not a god, but as, like, sent from the gods, like a divine being. You didn't correct them, because they started bringing you offerings. They built you a tree home. You had everything that you wanted. You had wine, you had food, you had any of the comforts of home that you would ever want. And you had a good life for a couple of years. Until a local crime boss was unhappy with all of the offerings they were giving you and not paying this particular crime boss. So after a long night of drinking, you were hammered, semi-unconscious, and they grabbed you.
We talking about Kurt or Jag?
Yes. And drug you off, shackled you up, and you've been on this ship for weeks. We fast forward a little bit. The ship sails to another continent you've heard of but never been to, Maralta. You arrive in the city of, Nuitania, the free city of Nuitania. And the only reason you hadn't escaped before now was because where were you going to go? You were on a ship. You had nowhere to go. As soon as the ship docked, you were out of your shackles, you were on your feet, and you were gone.
You know that's right.
Without a problem. You knew that. It was your plan. That was the only thing that kind of kept you going. Mm-hmm. You decided to leave the city and go north, and you entered the Empire of Therracaeia. There, mostly it's human half-elves. There are high elves in Therracaeia, but they are second-class citizens.
The high elves.
The high elves are second-class citizens because they served a ancient evil in these lands 1,000 years ago. And they have since...
Elves, man.
They have since been kind of thrown down the social ladder pretty far because of it. Because people still hold memories of being under the reign of a dragon lord, is what they were called. This particular one was Voragkai. The dragon lords, for all that you've even heard of, for where you are long gone. At least that's your knowledge. But the memories of what they did and how they kind of imposed their will upon the world has not been forgotten. So you made your way around the Empire. You were missing your old life. You were missing the comforts. You decided to get into a drinking contest with a priest of Dionysus,
like
they pride themselves in being able to hold their liquor. But you knew a little bit of herbalism. You knew what foods to eat before you had the drinking contest, and you basically set him up.
Yeah.
And you literally drunk him under the table. Now, you never agreed upon the prize, but once he was unconscious, you were like, that jeweled necklace around your throat. That seems to be a good prize. And you snatched it. Unfortunately, you did not pay attention, maybe because you were drunk, to the two strong attendants that had been watching the entire time, who grabbed you and drug you out into the street and turned you into the Legionnaires, where you were tried and convicted and thrown into Iron Rock Prison. Again, in shackles. Not happy. Not happy at all. But while you were there, you managed to make friends with strange... you didn't even know what he was at first. He was a halfling. You'd never even seen them before. Very calm, very serene. And the weird thing about it, what really caught your eye the first time you met him, was he was in prison. He always had this gem in his hand. And it would appear out of nowhere, and you're like, where are you hiding that?
Where?
Yeah, where? You never saw it. You have a quick eye. You never saw him palm it. You never saw it. It just was in his hand and it was gone. And he would just kind of sit there and kind of meditate on it from time to time. But, in the end, you two kind of became friends. Yeah. And recently, he came to you with some excellent news.
That is excellent.
He had a way to get you out of prison. One way is within the Empire, those prisoners who are in good behavior, they can join the bounders, these Imperial bounty hunters. They have to. It takes twice the time to work. So if you're in there a year, you have to do 2 years in the bounders. But then you're free. And actually you're out and about doing your thing.
Yeah.
And it seemed like a good deal.
Sounds like a good deal.
To you. It has been probably 2 years since you left the halfling community of Nendor. You knew that you had to get to the Empire because what you were searching for was within the Empire. But you realized very quickly that without a trade, and the only trade you had was basically a tailor, you wouldn't be able to move around the Empire as freely as you wanted to be. So you thought, I'm going to become a citizen. And one way for foreigners to become citizen is to join the Legion, to become a legionnaire. And things are going well. But as luck would have it, in your case, ill luck, because ill luck seemed to be following you constantly as you left Nendor. You're not sure why, but it has been. You were finishing calisthenics for the day, and there happened to be a heavy arbalesque loaded, for some reason, near where you were resting, drinking some water. You happened to lean over, you triggered it. It happened to be pointing right at a latrine that your commanding officer was stepping out of. It fired, and almost in slow motion, you just watched it go, and it impaled him, sent him flying back through the latrine, and he was dead.
Way to dishonor him.
Yeah,
You son of a bitch.
So, you were kicked out of Legionnaires. You were put on trial, and you were prosecuted for involuntary manslaughter, effectively, and thrown into Iron Rock Prison. And this is where you met Jag.
Place to be.
But you both had such good behavior, you managed to talk to the warden of the prison and decided that, one way out, and it would still kind of meet your goals if you could be a bounder. In fact, it would actually give you more mobility on where to go, potentially. So the two of you were thrown into a wagon and sent south to Jerissa to join the fold. As you were dumped out kind of unceremoniously on the streets of Jerissa, they know that you're going to become bounders, and actually bounders have quite a bit of sway because they are it's a mandate from the Emperor itself. They can, in some cases, their word is law. Maybe not yours, but whoever is commanding your group would have law. So as you are kind of rolled out, the soldiers know exactly what you're going to become, and they don't care. They're doing their job, and that's one thing of the Empire. It's A, B, C, D, E. There's no skipping. I mean, it's a very lawful society, but not so lawful that you can't do anything. It's just, very ordered. As they kind of usher you through the streets, again, you are shackled. You see that, again, the city is full of people. Being in a prison, it doesn't really weigh too heavily upon you. Unfortunately, it still bothers you a bit. But you make your way through the city, and you are presented before the building, where they unshackle you and hand over papers to another individual who comes out. The individual is actually a half-elf. So the odd thing about half-elves in the Empire, they're actually very well respected, because it's in other societies where the half-elves are kind of looked upon as bastards or what have you, and here they see, you have the strength of both the humans and the elves, but you don't have they don't have the prejudice that the high elves get. So half-elves actually have they're pretty well respected within the Empire, and it's probably the highest concentration anywhere is in the Empire. She introduces herself not to you, but to the sergeant, who is as Isha Moringdar. She looks the two of you over, nods, and kind of ushers you into the building. To you. So Malbrix, you grew up in the free city, or southern city, really pretty much the same, outside the Empire, of Darrenhall, on the edge of the Ursharon Wastes. At an early age, you obviously had an affinity for magic. not necessarily fire magic yet, but magic. And you were taken in by an organization called the Collectors. The Collectors are kind of like they're a group of almost merchants. Not almost, they are merchants in Daringhall who basically, as adventurers or mercenary companies go south into the ruins of Bleakfold Ruins, which are south, they bring the artifacts back to be evaluated and praised and paid out and that type of thing. And the Collectors manage all of that. So you had a nice apartment in the Mercenary Hall. You had food provided for you, and you had just all these books and artifacts to pore over, and it was incredible. One day, an artifact was placed in your hand. It wasn't magical that anyone else could tell, but as soon as you touched it, you could feel like a source of fire within it, a primal force of fire. It wasn't magical. You delved into it with your magic. You just knew it was there, but it was broken. It was about this big. It looked like a handheld torch almost. But the top of the torch where it was like a kind of
like a sconce or whatever.
Kind of a sconce, but the top of it was like a flame that was stylized out of this like semi-transparent red glass, but it was broken. And as you looked, almost looked like a piece had just been pulled out of it, like it was a two-part. It was gone. The glass itself, was only found in the hands of the Caridin, who are like a humanoid race from the Wastes, who were also servitor of the Dragon Lord, who had long since gone. Either way, you realized that this was actually a holy symbol of, or unholy, depending on your perspective, of an old dead primordial god called Jataurus the Firemaster. It would not have power if he was gone. So you dove into and did more research, and you found accounts here and there that people from that time, which was 1,000 years ago, little bits of information that apparently he had reformed, almost like a phoenix, and had returned to some sanctum underneath what is now Therracaeia, the Empire of Therracaeia. You want to find the piece, or another one like it. You convinced the Master Collector to let you go search for this piece, explaining what it was. But in reality, if you get it, you're not coming back.
Tight. Why would you? Well, the name was... Hold on, I wrote it down. Jataurus? Jataurus? Got it.
Yeah. That's the primordial god. In fact, you had heard rumors, and you tried to find this individual, but he was gone by the time you had heard about it. There was a mercenary company called the Battle Brothers, where these two dwarven brothers had started fairly recently, and both of them were worshippers of Jataurus. In fact, one was a priest of Jataurus. And there were people who said that they saw him use fire magic. Who knows?
Cool.
But unfortunately, they had left, and you didn't get a chance to interrogate them. So you were whisked away on a ship, heading north to the Empire, and oh god, it sucked. You were used to the soft life again.
A lot of honking.
Being on a ship, you got seasick. It was a long journey. It was uncomfortable. There's part of you that's kind of like, kind of wish I was back there. But you had received a recommendation from Mordana Nock, who's the Master Collector, and it's not unusual for mercenaries to join, or ex-mercenaries to join the Bounders. So it was fairly logical. Although she told you not to tell anyone what you're doing. But your real interest in going up the Emperor is to try to find maybe his sanctum or some more evidence of these worshippers, to maybe they can tell you what this is.
Cool.
Because to her, it's money. Especially if you could prove that Jataurus is not destroyed.
Right.
That information would bring her a lot of coin.
Got it.
So
cool.
But again, you are ushered through the city, and you basically are escorted to the city, and you kind of have to find. You get lost a few times because Daringhall is just kind of like maybe a dozen buildings out in this wasteland. The main structure is the Mercenary Hall, which is probably 15 stories tall, and it's massive. But the rest of it is like tent cities and things like that. You've never seen anything like this city, but this is where you are. So you get a little bit lost, but you do end up making your way to the fold. And each of you are arriving at different times at the headquarters. But in short order, all of you are processed and given an assignment and given barracks. And all of you are kind of pushed into one barracks as others are being led down, other maybe recruits or trainees, but the four of you are pushed together into a single room.
2 bunk beds.
Sure. Yeah. Very I mean, it is very very military.
Bed and a queen. Are we given any clothes, uniform, anything like that?
You're not given any uniform. You would have had any gear that you would have had. They actually gave you back what was taken from you when you were when you were in prison. Well, I mean, they are it's a very lawful, ordered society. So, you know, for the most part, at least on the outside, corruption is minimal.
At least on the outside.
But 4 of you enter the room and look across at each other, and what do you say?
I think Malbrix would fold his hands and look around and just be looking really dour. Like he probably is here for a reason, but also hates the idea of sharing a room with people.
Oh yeah, you had your own apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. You two are okay with it.
Yeah. Got a little bit of practice.
You probably not so much.
Not with, like, these dudes.
Actually, the gender doesn't mean a whole lot to you.
Oh, no, not that. Just, like, strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a
100%.
strange place.
Did I miss that they served prison time together? Okay, so you guys at least have that
You kinda know each
existing
other.
bro
Yeah, I
shit.
remember he had that gem
that he kept in his
butt.
butthole.
Yeah.
That was never described that way.
Not confirmed, allegedly kept in his
Just
butt.
where Steven's imagination went.
Yes.
I mean, mine
I
went
have
there.
to take the place of Sean, right? Sitting this close to you and imagining.
Yeah, actually, can you move a little closer? Because you're a little far away from each other.
He's not used to it.
All right,
Is this?
No, this is...
okay.
No, this is...
This is not here.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Well, I guess we're to be cellmates, or bunkmates, rather.
Well, it's not quite a cell. I can tell you that.
Jag would
Can
kind
you?
of Jag would kind of yawn and stretch, and then I'll take the top and kind of chuck his stuff up there and perch on top and kind of look around the room.
Neither is it an apartment, I can tell you that.
And you've never seen a tabaxi. You obviously have. You've read about them.
Yeah, okay.
Have I seen a halfling?
Yes.
Okay.
Halflings are not uncommon in the Empire.
Okay. And I don't remember if you said, where was I staying? Like, where was I living?
Before this,
Like, yeah, after I got kicked out of...
you just wandered throughout the Empire. Yeah. Now, so obviously you have power,
Yeah.
right? You could heal.
Yeah.
You know, you offered your services wherever you went and got paid and, you know, and were able to move along.
Okay. Knowing that, I think that, you know, this isn't ideal, but she's excited to have, like, a bed that she can go back to several times.
Yeah, there's a foot locker for each one of you to put your things in.
Yeah.
And you don't, I mean, obviously it's not like, if it doesn't feel like, again, not just because of your background, but in general, male and female kind of, not just gender roles, but like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just being embarrassed or just not wanting to be naked.
Gender dynamics.
Yes, yeah, they just don't really exist in the Empire. I mean, it's very neutral. A lot of it is because the Temple of Athena is one of the dominant temples of religions in the Empire. So the warrior priests of Athena are like legendary and like they're not worshipped, but I mean,
Is Iole living in this universe?
Yeah. Maybe.
Ew.
No, she's dead. But yeah, they're like the women, and you would have noticed this as you're walking through the city. There's no dresses. No one wears, like, it's all very functional, like leather pants, silks, things like that.
That's neat. I like that.
It's just,
I like to wear pants in an adventure once in a while.
yeah, it's just nice,
She does have some nice leather pants.
They're silk pants.
Agree to disagree.
Well, unfortunately, my friend, it may not be an apartment. He'll start, like, actually just stretching out, but it is quite spacious compared to my last abode.
I imagine almost anything would be spacious for you, my little friend. I'm Malbrix.
I'm Dion.
Nice to meet you, Dion. What about you? What's your story?
Well, I'm Reyna. I guess I would prefer to stay alone in an apartment like you've said, but I am happy to have a bed.
Well,
Can I have the
is
top
that?
one?
Be my guest.
I think that she will start like hiding some stuff under her pillow just because
Okay.
I think she's probably used to like having to worry about being thieved.
Yeah, and you've been on the road for so long that a lot of times you just don't. I don't think you have armor though, right?
Leather.
Yeah.
It's shitty.
Yeah, but a lot of times you sleep in your clothes.
Yeah.
You know, because you're again, because of what the priest of Athena said to you, you don't. There's a part that you're not really sure. I mean, you didn't want to believe it at first, but you've started to believe it.
Okay.
You're not sure.
So Jag sees her putting stuff under her pillow. Is it, no need to hide stuff under your pillow, love. Only thieves here are reformed thieves. Hey, Dion.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jag.
Oh, yeah, you hide away that crystal every now and again.
And that's why you know what the inside of a cell looks like. Well, this is a place for second chances, isn't it?
It is.
So long as some of us don't spoil it.
I'm just glad to be out. This is much nicer than the cell we were just in.
Well, congratulations, gentlemen.
Certainly smells nicer, that is for sure.
Were you in a cell in this city?
No, not
To the
quite.
north, Arrhenios.
We were at Ironwatch. Have you ever been there? Up that way?
Iron Rock, but close. I like Iron Watch better.
I've never been to a prison now.
No. It's not much for sightseeing anyways. I wouldn't expect one to walk up that way anyways, unless forcefully taken and wrongfully accused, but...
And before we all cozy up and divvy up the beds, what were you in for, if I may ask?
Wrongfully accused.
Aren't they all? You as well?
Well... you see, I was a legionnaire for 6 hours. And...
We'll say a couple weeks. We're in training.
I happened to accidentally lean up against an arbalest that somehow someone had left loaded. It fired and killed a commanding officer.
Dion, Jag, I'm a merchant at heart. I choose to believe you both. So long as your actions don't interrupt the flow of coin, and more specifically, knowledge. I don't care about your past sins. What brings you here, and what did you say your name was?
Oh, my name is Reyna.
Reyna. Malbrix, if I didn't say. You can call me Mal, or Brix, or Malbrix. I don't mind. I hear them all.
Okay. I'm here on the recommendation of the Temple of Athena.
Ah. You don't look like a warrior priestess.
I'm not.
So, did they...
I mean, she is pretty, but I'm, and you tell me how if you want this to be different. I feel like a lot of your charisma is just who you are, right? You know, so you look at her. It's not necessarily that you trust her. I mean, she is attractive, but there's just wow. I mean, you really just can't keep your eyes off her. Not in like a bad way, but just like you're just drawn to her for some reason. But there's nothing physically about her that looks, because you don't look any different. You look completely normal to everything. As far as
I do think that I have like dark black hair and
fine.
like black eyes.
Yep.
Did they reject you?
I wouldn't say reject, but I wasn't able to stay there.
Were they afraid of you, Raven Woman?
Afraid? What would they be afraid of?
I don't know. Well, I'm glad you're here.
And you?
I'm a searcher. I'm a scholar.
a scholar.
Indeed.
Do you have a book?
I have many books.
You do. Actually, you did bring quite a few with you.
Oh,
actually.
yeah, of course. In fact, there's probably this big dust
You got
bag.
you got as many as you were allowed. There are certain ones that they're like,
Yeah,
I
they're
ain't taking that.
Yeah, no. Let me look through. No, man. No.
But what you did before you left, you actually tore pages out of other things that might be
that's
clues to what you want and stuffed them in your books.
Tight. In fact, yeah, I think it'd kind of be like, and all of you are welcome to them if you know how to read. I mean, no offense, I just don't know you well. This book, however, is off limits. Folded his cloak.
That's what I thought.
Well,
Where did you study?
where? What was the name of it again?
Daring Hall.
Daring Hall, have you heard of it?
You haven't.
No.
Well, it's the ass end of the world, if I'm being honest with you, but
100%.
knowledge flows through there, you know.
Well, then I guess it's good you were there. You're the type that likes knowledge.
Exactly. And now I'm here, seeking more. It's an end to itself, really.
So you enlisted with a house full of bounty hunters to find knowledge.
That's right. It's a reason to travel, learn things.
I'm sure.
Which kind of resonates with you a bit.
Interesting.
I'm sure we'll be dispatched all over for jobs.
That's my hope.
Anyone have any bounty hunting skills? Seems an odd choice for all of us to be if we've got a scholar.
Well, you're a cat person. You must have a good sense of smell.
Anyone else got any bounty hunting skills? Speaking for myself, I've never done it professionally, but I know my way around in the woods.
I don't mean to stare, but are you a cat person?
So they say. I've always just known myself to be me.
You've got to see this. And I'll start my ritual for Find Familiar.
Okay, when you,
get my cat.
you recognize that she's casting a spell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when she's doing that, I'd be like, I'm familiar with that one. And I think he would reach.
I'm familiar with that familiar.
He would reach into his cloak and pull his bat, which I think would be hanging from his finger asleep, like its wings folded up. And be like,
Jag, do you keep animals hidden in your fur too? What
I ain't
is
seen
this
nothing
madness?
like
Well,
that.
you can kind of catch it out of the periphery as you're kind of like summoning.
Yeah.
Your cat's name is
Tia.
Tia.
Isabel named her.
Oh, that's right.
Isabel names all of my characters these days. I don't want to think about it.
Egon is the bat.
Egon.
Okay, nice.
And Tia eats Egon right away.
Yes, immediately. That's a cool trick. Does he do anything else?
Oh, man, he's going to fucking shock you. Like, I think you'll find him handy if need be.
I like that. Bat in the cloak.
Yeah, it didn't even move. It looked like it was asleep.
Yeah.
It was wings folded up.
Yeah.
You know.
He'd feed it a little berry, because watching bats eat is the cutest goddamn thing.
I think that Tia is
keep
like a
them around.
calico cat, so she's less brown, but definitely like black and white.
Okay.
And I think she would probably just like instinctively start like
Well, as you start summoning the cat, like this mist starts swirling around your legs faster and faster. Then all of a sudden, as you guys kind of shake your head, it's just a cat kind of circling around her leg. Kind of.
Malvex would be grinning.
No.
Adorable.
To answer your question, Jag, I can't summon bats or cats, but I've been known to be fairly quick with my hands.
Pretty good archer from what I hear.
Well, I imagine that they've assessed all of our skills and put us together to complement each other, so...
And as you say that, the four of you didn't really notice there because the door was open. You never really shut it, and the hall it was lit with lanterns and such. But kind of standing on the opposite wall, leading it, there was someone who was just kind of listening to your conversation.
Nice.
And you recognize her, Commander Isha. She just kind of steps up. Indeed, that is why you are together. The four of you will train. Your skills should complement each other. Being a bounder is not necessarily just tracking. It is research, skill in battle, and other things. As he she looks to you.
I'll look back.
Either way, I suggest you get some dinner, as your training starts tomorrow. Montage!
Need a montage. Put the montage song.
Get the montage music going.
Mulan.
There are loaded ballistae in the training ground.
Yeah, they're purposely unloaded.
They're placed in concentric circles everywhere. You have to walk through it. Along with rakes.
So
It's like that scene in Mission Impossible where you have to go through the lasers, and if you hit one,
he will just walk through them.
Yeah.
No subtle.
So, fast forward a little bit. You all train for several months together. So the fruit of your labor, so to speak, will be that anytime I ask you guys to do a group skill check, you can pick from one, instead of everyone rolling on the same skill and getting at least half successes, you can roll one of 4 different skills as being part of the Bounders.
Okay.
Investigation, survival, perception, and insight.
Cool.
So if I give you like a group skill task, which I may or may not, we're not sure why I said that,
Probably won't.
then you individually you can just
imagine why that's
pick
important.
any one of those things as a skill roll, and as a group, if you get at least 2 successes, since there's 4 of you, then you'll succeed as a group.
Okay.
It's survival, investigation, or the...
Perception.
Do we
and
all have to
insight.
roll a different one?
You choose.
Okay. I'm all about some investigation.
I figured as much. Yeah.
Nice. That survival's pretty good.
And again, just 2 of you just need to succeed.
Sweet.
I'm not really that great at any of those.
Yeah, but you have other skills, which is why she specifically said
And other things.
So again, the months pass. You start getting accustomed to the physical because there are calisthenics every day.
He would hate that.
You would hate it at first, but you start getting in shape, and you can eventually
That's
touch
why
your
he
toes.
has a 10 strength instead of an 8 like most wizards.
Yeah, exactly. You're buff.
Yeah.
I have a 9 strength.
Nice.
But at the end of the, we'll say it takes 2 months of training, you start hearing more and more about what's going on in the Empire. Again, the Theocratic Union seems to have solidified a lot of support in the cities of Myathon and Arenios, which are kind of like northern cities. The capital, like Tanos, which is the where the Emperor is obviously with the Imperialists, and Jerissa is on the fence. The thought is that if Jerissa goes with the Imperialists, it's just going to be over, because Jerissa has almost as large of a standing army as Itanos does. But if they end up siding with the Theocratic Union, it's almost an even split in terms of forces, and almost guaranteed civil war would happen. So you definitely have been hearing, because there are Bounders that are going out currently and doing things. A lot of what they're doing is they're trying to go out, because Bounders they basically are, whether you want to or not, you're Imperialist. You report to the Emperor, and your power comes from the Emperor. So there have been talks of skirmishes between different cohorts and centuries. That's just kind of a general name for like the number of troops in a group. I think a century is 100, and at a cohort I think is 500. I'd have to go back and look at my notes. But there's no large-scale battles have happened. Jerissa again has been quiet, so to speak, but there have been rumors that there are terrorist activities kind of going on, but they've been kind of kept hush-hush in the city. Because there's so many people, it's kind of easy to kind of suppress that information. But at the end of your training, you were brought before your Commander Isha, and she has 4 gray cloaks and the silver pin sitting on a table in front of her.
Tight.
You've done well. You don't have to make any rolls. You're 5th level. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest, you're kind of badasses at 5th level. So,
Me especially.
of course, you are the most badass.
Second only to me.
Yeah. You have done well. You have not killed anyone. You haven't stolen from anyone.
That was one time.
You're still here. And you have been a vital asset.
Thank you.
It seems that civil war is inevitable, I suspect. In fact, we got a report that Fort Argonia, which is to the south near the Hating Ridge Mountains, has been taken over by the Theocratic Union. Now, this normally wouldn't be anything that we would deal with, but in this particular case, we sent one of the Order of Hermaean Wizards by the name of Hyphos to break the siege. And things went badly, it appears. Reports are that they had engineers, sappers, digging under the walls of the fortification. And when Hyphos got there, they had actually hit literally a stone wall in their attempt to get through a block of granite, which is going to delay it. He was a bit impatient, it appears. And from the reports that I got, the tunnels collapsed somehow. When the tunnels collapsed, he cast some type of spell. And, well, he summoned something, we think. We're not really sure. The reports are kind of vague. Whatever he summoned slaughtered everything. His troops, the troops inside, and only a few people escaped. He is now wanted by the Emperor, and a bounty has been put on his head. He is to be bound and brought back here.
Kept alive.
He is a fairly powerful wizard, but I don't think it's anything that you can't handle.
What if he is killed?
He should not be killed.
Noted.
We need to find out exactly what he did and why he did what he did. That being said, there are several witnesses that you can interview before you leave. We'll just see what you all four can find out from these witnesses, and the 5 of us will head out there. We have 2 days.
2 days. That's not a lot of time.
So the witnesses are like single legionnaire, and 2 of the sapper engineers who survived. That's it. That's the only.
What kind of condition are they in? Are they like coherent or?
Yeah, they're
like
coherent.
barely
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I would ask you, do you know what kind of spell that could be?
Something powerful. There's demon summoning, devil summoning, elementals.
I think that would make her like kind of deeply uncomfortable.
Question. Sorry, real quick. The sappers were from the Theocratic Union. The sappers,
No, actually, they're from the Imperial.
Sappers are
the Theocratic. So to be clear, the keep was captured effectively, or taken over by the Theocratic Union.
Gotcha.
And they were
So
holding
the
it.
sappers were the counterattack.
Yes,
Got
yes.
it. Got it.
And they were there for from what she told, she would tell you this also. They were there for 3 weeks trying to break it. That's when they called in the.
So the people we're interrogating are on the
On your
Imperial
side.
side.
Yeah, they're on your
all
side.
So I'm not going to be too mean to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you asking me now? I didn't want to lose that. Sorry.
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Just asking about different spells. You said make you uncomfortable if it was elementals or demons.
Oh yeah,
something.
I think I would just be like, is that something you wizards can do?
Not me personally, but some, yes.
I hope you don't learn that one.
It could have just run on a string of luck worse than mine.
I thought you were supposed to be lucky.
Not these recent years, not
Have we
for a
seen
while
his
at
gems?
least.
Yeah, actually, give me a perception check,
Okay.
because it's something that would probably catch your eye.
Nah, probably like a 10, I think.
No, you can roll also. You've already seen it.
Perception?
Yeah.
No.
Nope. Okay. No, you haven't really
That's a
caught
natural 5.
it. That's a natural failure then.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh, a nat 5?
Oh.
You don't get those often.
Nope.
Not for a while.
But a lot of dumb shit has happened to him. just like
on the rake in the yard.
yeah,
well in
he
the
was
training.
he was going down these stairs and he fell and broke his foot.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
What?
Someone should really write a poem about that.
God.
Everyone laughed at him.
And now he's wearing a boot for the rest of his life.
No, he healed really quickly. He's cool.
You actually healed him.
I'm actually.
Yeah, you actually did heal him.
I'm not playing this game.
Oh, your turn of events.
But just nothing crazy. Just kind of like
Little
getting
things.
picked for shit duty again and again and again, and just little things here and there. Nothing that really probably even stands out to any of you. It does to you. Because
Been keeping a list.
exactly.
Trained idiot, yeah.
Okay. Well, they have them here at the fold, so you can interview them whenever you want.
Well, seems like a good time. Speak to them now.
Who would have been down? Sorry, so the sappers would have been down in the hole with the wizard.
No, the wizard
They
never
were-
went down there. They don't know. They just say it collapsed, is what she has said. They don't know how it happened.
Okay.
Did they see the wizard?
You don't know. You haven't talked to them.
Okay.
Well, let's go talk to him.
Yeah, let's do
What's
it.
a holdup? Let's go talk to him.
God, why aren't we there already?
Talk to him.
I think we should try the Legionnaire first. They are trained to have their eyes about them and not lean on unnecessary things.
Okay. Well, you can interview them individually if you want. His name's Dorian.
All right. Ask him your questions.
Not an officer. They lead you down the hall, and they're not in a prison or any stretch of the imagination.
They're not
just
like holed up in like.
no. They're in a
hospital
kind of
beds
just
or
like a kind of conference room. And he sits there, and he comes in, and you guys do have your cloaks, and you're kind of expected to wear them and the pins at all times
Oh, yeah.
because they are a badge of your station.
Why you would take
Wear it.
And he immediately stands to attention when you come in. And you were in the Legion long enough that at least you understand ranks.
Yeah.
He's at the bottom of the rank. He's a grunt.
I definitely think Malbrix would eat that up. Like, he'd have his hands folded behind his back, like, at ease.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have some questions for you.
Of course. Of course.
Tell us, in your own words, what happened that day.
The siege, well, it wasn't much of a siege. It was more of a stalemate. We had set our lines back out of bow range. The sappers were starting their arduous task of burrowing under. They weren't even halfway there before they hit the granite. That we're not even sure how wide it was. They were trying to find a way around it.
Was the granite natural in their
Yes,
opinion?
at least that's what I understood. You'd have to talk to the engineers about that.
We will, thank you.
But the wizard arrived, and he had 2 large wagons with him.
Was he pulling the wagons?
No. They were metal-bound wagons, and no one was allowed to look inside. He said they had just arrived, maybe a month or so ago, from the Sky City. He had them special delivered from there.
Some sort of technology.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. We never saw what was inside of it. All I can tell you is that he wanted everyone back away from the lines. And it was dark. It was night. It was one of those nights where the moon should be out, but it wasn't. And we could hear him chanting. And then we could hear rattling inside the wagons.
Like a beast.
It did not make any noise, though. And then we heard what sounded like we thought was an explosion from within the wagons. And some of us went up, me being one of them, and I saw the wagons had just been splayed open. Not how can I explain it? It didn't look like a beast opened it. As we went up, it looked like someone had just cut the door open cleanly, and the door was falling out. And I swear that I thought I saw something moving at impossible speeds across the land towards the keep. And then we heard screaming from inside the keep. Before all of that happened, that's when the tunnel collapsed. Tunnels, I should say. Both of them collapsed.
Simultaneously.
It seemed that way.
Interesting. Did anyone make it out alive?
The 2 engineers I returned with were the only survivors. They were at the back shoring up parts of the tunnels. I don't know. I didn't talk to them. We were both pretty shook up by what happened. But as we moved up, as our lines moved up, parts of the keep started exploding out in a brilliant, like, yellowish orange light. And then something came out of the keep and laid into the troops. It moved. I couldn't even see what it was. It was dark. And my commander ordered me to bring a message to Jerissa to report what had happened. That's all I know.
Did you ever see the wizard?
Not after that.
But you saw him.
Before that, yes.
What did he look like?
Yes, he wore the standard garb of the Hermaean wizards, and you've seen them around. They wear these red robes, and then they have kind of stitched on their shoulder, they have, it looks like an arrow, like a golden arrow that just kind of like a circle that's kind of feeding into itself.
You said that there was a light in the castle.
Yes, there was something in there,
Did
whatever.
you see any shapes or shadows moving around that you could distinguish?
Just the soldiers, and we could hear screams and battle going on, and then it moved outside into our troops.
What did the wizard do when this happened?
I didn't see him do it.
Disappeared.
It was chaos.
What happened to the wagons?
I suppose they're still there.
When the wagons were rended, did you feel a concussion, a powerful wind gust?
No, nothing. We weren't that close to it, though. It was kind of, we were on the edge of the tree line. We could just hear the heavy metal doors slamming to the ground.
And I'm sorry, did you say what the wizard's name was?
Yes, it was Hythos.
Hythos. A Hermaean wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've been very helpful.
And you've done enough research, you know that the Hermaean wizards are an order of wizards within the Empire. Their main focus, actually, is they are able to access this transportation network within the Empire, a magic called the Ways.
Cool.
It's always something you've wanted to learn, and in fact, kind of in the back of your head, you thought that might be another thing you could do if you just find some way to join
Tight.
and learn how to because it's basically, there are rumors that this network exists outside of the Empire, but the Hermaean, they can travel hundreds of miles in minutes.
Right.
Or hours, you're not really sure. But they can't transport armies, but they can transport small groups of people.
Cool.
Are the Hermaean wizards like they're a well-known order?
Mm-hmm.
Are there books and papers written about like specific higher-ups?
Yeah.
So we could like maybe hit up a library before we left?
If you wanted to, yeah. I mean, there is a group of them within each of the major cities. 100% they're here in Jerissa.
That's good. Why don't you go find out what information you can? We can interrogate the other two sappers. I doubt we'll get much more from them. Actually, I'll join you.
I was going to say, pass up the opportunity for a library. You
know me well. Can the two of you handle the rest of the interrogation?
I think it would not be hard.
I'll keep an eye on him. Make sure he doesn't trip over anything.
Only my
Be
words.
careful.
Okay. Well, the two of you can go talk to the engineers. They're actually all in separate rooms, but you can talk to them together if you want.
I think Dion would rather bring them together and
Okay.
see them
Okay, that's
at the
fine.
same time.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe less of an interrogation and more of a
Yeah, not as harsh
Yeah.
as some people.
consoling.
like a sit down, like a powwow.
Got intelligence, not charisma.
I have the charisma. The
So you
charisma.
were
Not
around.
really charisma.
Yes,
When-
I was in Tunnel 1. He was in Tunnel 2. We
And-
were charged with maintaining the entrance.
How far apart were the tunnels?
About 100 yards.
And the best you reckon they collapsed at the same time?
Not the best. 100%. They collapsed at the same time.
And you were in charge of maintaining them.
Not maintaining. We were inspectors.
And on your expert opinion, were they up to standard? Should not have happened?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
As I was standing there, and this is his name's Eris. He says, I don't know how to explain it. I've never seen anything like this. I've been an engineer for 12 years. Literally, the beams and supports were like they weren't there, and the tunnels collapsed like that.
And there was no loud sound or concussion?
No, I swear, I think I heard a rumbling off in the distance. That's all I can know.
But no.
I heard the screams of the men, though, as they were crushed.
Did you guys see a wizard at all?
No. We were down in the tunnels.
And it was no aether storm?
No. They rarely... it's rare to find aether storms this far south, typically, but it does happen. No, there was no storm.
Interesting.
Are you familiar with magic at all?
No.
As we understand, there was a wizard in that area potentially casting...
We heard that there was a Hermaean wizard there, but we did not... we never talked to him.
Progress had slowed because of a granite wall?
Yes. Yeah.
Was it a natural wall?
It was, yes.
So it was not put there as
I
a
don't know how it could
fortification.
have been. No.
And it was very, very real and thick, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it was, yes. Actually, at the angle that it was, we estimated that it probably rose almost to the surface. Based on the gauge and the width and the angle, I'm almost sure of it. How deep it was and how wide it was, we were just assessing that when this travesty happened.
Interesting. There have been reports of a sight of a being moving towards the keep.
I don't know anything about that.
Neither of you saw?
No. When the tunnels collapsed, it was dust and debris, and we made it out, and we were told to travel with a legionnaire back to Jerissa.
Interesting.
How many men did you lose in the tunnel?
150.
Sorry for the loss.
Good men. Some of the best engineers in the Empire.
Well, I'm certain with the tides ever changing now, they probably wouldn't want to send half-wits with civil war on the brink.
No, that is true.
Well, thank you, Ares. If we think of any more questions, we might come and find you, but I highly doubt we'll have the time. We need to find the end of this and fix it as quick as possible.
I understand.
Well, thank you two again.
Okay. All right, you two can head.
Yeah, we would search the library for anything to do with the wizards, but specifically I think the spell, the effects of the summoning, a creature that moves fast, bright lights emanating, maybe anything about earth displacement, kind of. Given that we've got about a day, probably a pretty wide search.
All right, well, I mean, you have investigation? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you guys have been trained to do this. So the other thing that I forgot to mention earlier is, even though you may not be proficient in those skills, you can actually assist each other in any of those skills.
I am proficient in Arcana. If that would help.
Yeah. I am too. So we would be looking at spells, looking at the
But each of you were trained, like you were trained how to track. Mm-hmm. So were you, and so were you.
Right. We got our basic enough.
All of you have enough that you can assist each other, which is part of the training that you kind of went through.
Okay.
You said we had 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah, so probably not a whole day in the library. Then we want to go faster, or 2 days from.
Well, it depends on what they find, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So specifically, I'd like to know if we can find any type of spells that would cause effects like that. I would also like to read about the hierarchy of the wizards.
Okay.
And also just see if there's any of them that turned evil or.
Okay, we'll just make. And you wanted to do a roll on kind of the description of what.
Yep.
What he saw.
Just trying to find out about the.
So we'll do 2 separate rolls. So you can assist him on the first roll, and then you'll assist her on the second roll.
So I'll do investigation.
Yep.
Or Arcana. Either way, they're the same.
This one's going to be investigation.
They're both +7.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll on Coach's character sheet so he can read my dice.
Yeah, what's that like for him?
Oh shit!
I can't read it. It doesn't exist.
All right. Well, fine.
He knows everything. The adventure's over.
The books fly by me.
So you do find a bit of information. Ironically, you had the information on you.
This guy.
Yep, you didn't realize
He
it.
was in the house
One
the
of the
whole
books I
time.
brought
One of the books you brought with
Who
you.
was found?
I was just gonna say that.
So it is a reference to these creatures called shards. Shards of the past.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I made it.
Okay.
I made it.
It is a passage from Lore Master Kadesh Ileana, sorry. And it goes as follows. And it's basically just this little parchment. It's an account of this Lore Master at least 500 years ago, maybe longer. She was, a lot of what the Lore Masters did is they would explore the continents and map them out and that type of thing. That was one of the things they did. They were also very powerful spellcasters in their own right. So this is her accounting. There is a great forest in northern Burmasa called Dreer, and it is cold and laid open. It was there that I saw the first and greatest of shards, Sharbu. He stood 10 feet tall, as all shard do, and his eyes glittered with transparent orbs. He was indistinguishable from a lifelike statue as he stood there, his grayish skin pulled tight against his body, but he lacked the covering over his mouth that all shard possessed, and this made his appearance more human than his brethren, but it made his countenance that much more hideous. As a terrifying smile crept across his face, his gaze fell upon the soldiers that I had brought with me, and they withered and died, their bodies aged and broken, yet their heads remained intact. As I opened the warren to escape and raced to it, I could see 66 shards behind Sharbu, and I saw they all had the same smile on their faces as they devoured the brains of the men and women that were charged with my safety.
Wait. Let me get this straight.
You read it right.
You have a question?
No, I just wanted...
Yeah, I think let's sort of fold it like...
So you've heard like reference to these shards before. You're not sure what they are. None have been seen or recorded in any of the recent history. But whatever they were, they apparently died out back, around the same time that the Dragon Lords disappeared.
Are they like a humanoid?
They are humanoid. And you kind of do some more referencing with that, and basically they move very fast. Mm-hmm. And they look like statues when they are not moving at all. They are cruel and merciless and uncaring and emotionless. And when they're not moving, it looks like they look like a statue, but when they move or when they're about to stop their movement, think of it like, God, you guys may have not seen this. You ever seen Beastmaster?
A long time ago, absolutely.
You know the creatures that fold over and suck the bones?
They do kind of.
They kind of have their skin kind of stretched against their face.
Yeah,
They don't have mouths, but they have like a high-bridged brow.
Yep.
These are like that, but they don't have eyes. They just have inset sockets. Sharbu, which is the one she was referencing in there, had these like almost like crystalline orbs for eyes, and it was those eyes that obliterated her troops.
Yeah.
Being a lore master, you know that they were really effing powerful, and she ran from it. But there were also 60 shards behind it. There are obviously different levels of these shards.
Yeah.
Of these creatures.
So the shards are like a species, like something naturally occurring.
They are not natural.
Yeah.
The writings, you suspect that they were created somehow.
Okay.
That's all you can really get, though. But with a natural 20,
We'll take this back.
I had it just in case you rolled it out that you got the target.
Nice.
It was actually a 25 was the target.
Nice.
To get all of that information.
Yeah, got a 27.
Yep.
So.
Can I roll for...
It's for the hierarchy. Yep.
After that, we need to take a break here in the next
We will.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I was just going to let you guys get your information. And you'll be at your intelligence.
It's Arcana, right? So.
Or your Arcana, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a +4.
Okay, 18. So yes,
Investigate.
there definitely is a strict order of the Hermaean wizards. There are other wizards within the Empire. The Hermaean wizards tend to be, obviously, they're at the beck and call of the Emperor. And they are absolutely loyal. In the notes, it mentioned warrens. Warrens, there's actually ways and warrens. Ways are like lesser warrens. Warrens have never been used, or should I say, have not been used in recent history. No one even knows how to access them. But with those, it was reputed that you could travel thousands of miles and across the seas and over continents and things like that.
Cool.
But the Allure Masters knew how to use them.
Right.
As did others back then, but no one in current day that you know of knows how to use any of them.
Cool.
So, was there something specific that you wanted to know about the hierarchy? Are you trying to get names, or trying to find out about this particular wizard?
Yeah, like would he be mentioned in any text?
Nothing common. Nothing that you would probably have access to.
Okay.
They have it's not that the Hermaean wizards are kept a secret by any stretch of imagination, but the list of those who are among their order is not common knowledge.
I'm imagining it like a clergy, like in a Catholic church, where it's like, they all have names and probably are written in a book somewhere, but it would be hard.
But not a book you were able to find or have access to.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Is there like one head one? Is there like the head leader of the...
Yep.
Can I know his name?
Yes. His name...
Did I disappoint Maisie over there?
Yeah, she sighed.
She sighed. She's like,
Maisie's like,
"God,
ask for
Lydia."
the DM the name, huh? Sweet.
It's farther up. No, I expected name queries.
Raven's not here. Someone's got to do
Yeah,
it.
that's
Hold
true.
on. Unfortunately, it's
What's his
farther
name
up on my list.
I'm good now, though.
That's cool. We'll just call
I've
him
been
like...
burned enough. I'm ready to fire off the hip. I've got a list. Like Mark.
Yeah.
Mark is on the list.
Mark's a great name for a fantasy character.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Raek Torin.
Raek.
Raek. Torren.
Ron Rake Torn.
So he's the head wizard.
He's the head of the Hermaean wizards, yes.
He's the wizard pope.
Yeah, he's not here, though.
Okay, and then Hyphos is the wizard in question.
He is probably a high-ranking wizard in in Jerissa.
Yes.
Otherwise, he wouldn't have been sent.
Yes.
Yep.
Also, he wouldn't have been powerful enough to possibly summon those sons of bitches.
I'm not sure.
Shards.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Shards of bitches.
All right.
Shards of bitches.
We'll
All right.
take a short break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take a short break. We'll BRB.
Short
Right.
break.
Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to us here at Castle Mac. We're so happy that you came. The point of this video is just to do a little bit of housekeeping on the break. That way when you come back, we can just jump straight back into the action with whatever show that you were watching. If you're watching us live right now on Twitch, you can go ahead and mash that follow button up here. If you're watching us a little bit later on YouTube, you can mash that subscribe button right down here. We stream live on Twitch on Tuesdays and Sundays, both at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we try to upload our videos to YouTube about 48 hours later, so you can follow us there, youtube.com/CastleMac. If you want to talk to us outside of our streams, then you can go ahead and follow us on Twitter. Sometimes we post schedules there if we're going to be streaming in between. We have some friends of ours that stream on our channel, the Macolites. We also do a Marches-style campaign with some of our friends in our Discord, and that happens periodically. So if you want to know when, you can just follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles are all CastleMac, and then our first name. You can follow me, I'm CastleMac Lydia. You can follow Raven. You can follow our DMs, Stephen and John. You can follow any of us, and you can find our names right underneath of our characters and our nameplates. So we would love it if you would follow us, and you can find us on our other streams there. And also, if you want to talk to us off of Twitter, you can follow us on our Discord. We have a Discord server. You just go to our Twitch channel, scroll down a little bit, and you can follow that link. We are there pretty much all the time. There are people from all over the world, so no matter what time you're chatting, I guarantee there will be someone there to chat back at you. It's so much fun. Everyone there is so nice. And I just want to talk now a little bit about what goes on during our Twitch streams. So for every 500 bits donated or every sub, we get
a divine reroll. That is basically the gods saying, you can re-roll that terrible d20 roll that you just made as a player. If you roll badly, you can re-roll that and hope for better. But also, if the DM rolls really hot and it's gonna hurt us, we can make him re-roll that in hopes that he won't hurt us quite so badly. So it's great. And with those bits, it allows us to upgrade some of our equipment. We've been able to get new microphones, so we sound so much better than we used to. We have these lapel mics. We're hoping to get some new cameras in the future. And with those bits, we're able to pay artists from Twitter that we find to do character portraits. We found some on Facebook that are really great. We've been able to commission a new theme song for our Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. The art looks amazing, and we're so happy to be able to give that back to artists that we found. So with that, we are so happy that you are here. We are so thankful to have you as a viewer and a subscriber and a chatter in our Discord. We hope that you will stay around, because in the next few minutes we'll be coming back to whatever show you're watching. We're so happy that you're here, so thank you so much.
So a little bit of a summary for what has happened so far. The 4 adventurers have been pulled together from different walks of life. Some criminals, others.
Misunderstanding.
Well, she's probably the most mysterious.
Always.
Yeah, of course.
Every day.
Maintaining their reputation.
With that black hair and black eyes.
A wizard from the south. Well, they probably know because of your training that you are a spellcaster of some type.
Yeah, sure.
And that you obviously healed his foot when he fell down the stairs.
I forgot about that, and I'm
You got over the anger. I wanted to bring it back.
I'm re-mad at you.
Okay,
Seth.
good.
I'm re-mad.
She cast that
makes me
cat
happy.
too, so that was
Yeah.
we saw that happen.
I'm gonna trip him down the stairs with my cat again.
So they are in the city of Jerissa, in the Empire of Therracaeia, and they have joined an organization called the Bounders. They are bounty hunters sponsored by the Emperor. They have been training together for months, and recently they found out that a fort to the south of the city has been taken over by, well, for lack of a better term, rebels. A lot of people don't see them that way, but something terrible happened at the fort. A wizard by the name of Hyphos traveled there and unleashed creatures upon the inhabitants of this fortification, slaughtering them, seemingly, and his own men. Whether he's alive or not, this group has been tasked with doing some research, finding out where he is, hopefully bringing him back alive to answer his questions. During the research,
Stephen critted.
Steven critted. He got a 20.
Well, is that the first roll of the game, too?
It probably was.
It was up there.
No, you rolled like a
No, there was a perception. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys tried.
I'm still finger gunning it.
I mean, you can finger gun all you want, but it wasn't.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it was first
I
roll
call
of the
it the
game.
first
Yeah,
roll.
it was first roll.
It's
Whatever.
incredible.
Fine.
What a
Fine.
start.
I'm reloading it.
But they found out that there were these created beings, I'm not sure what, called Shards, who are an account that he had in one of his books detailed this one, it sounded like a leader among these beings, had just with a gaze slain.
Sharabu.
Sharbu.
Had slain a bunch of soldiers with just a glance.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't like that
That
concept.
should be fine.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah. I told you I could kill you all. I plan to.
Don't be looking in our direction.
My body is ready.
Don't be glancing over here.
Died last night. Whatever.
From what the account that you had for some of the witnesses, 2 engineers and a legionnaire, possibly one of these creatures might be loose. Maybe more. It's unsure. 2 wagon loads were brought by the wizard. 2 here, apparently brought in from outside of the Empire. And you're not really sure what has really transpired. So
Let's do it. We got this.
Can I ask a shard question?
Mm-hmm.
Can they control their like deadly gaze, or is it just like if you happen to look at one, you're dead?
I don't think we know that.
you don't really know.
Okay.
In the particular case of the count that he had, she was there. The lore master was there among the troops. Why she didn't get killed, you don't know.
Okay.
So you might be able to deduce just from that it could probably
Control it.
control it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's really all you can deduce from
Okay.
that.
That's cool. I was thinking that might have been why they were in the wagons. If they were in the wagons.
It's possible. You're not really sure.
Okay. Let's do it. Hit it.
All right, so you guys make your way back to the fold, the headquarters of the Bounders, and your commander is waiting there for you, waiting for a report.
Got a divine reroll from Carapace.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's Commander Isha.
Isha
Sure.
Morningdar.
Yeah.
Mooring Dar. Not morning, but mooring.
My notes just look like That's okay.
I put it in the Mind Palace.
Yeah, it's a good place for it.
Maybe you got a mine swamp shack. Nah, yours is pretty good with detail.
Mine Pals Jr.
You got like a mine, like
Huts.
lockbox. Like you can put little details and store them away for years.
Only if it's things around the house.
Yeah. We call
Anything
Lydia
else?
House Google. Like you'll be like, "Hey, where's that one left sock I wore last year?" She's like, "Oh, it's in the 3rd drawer upstairs behind those old batteries." And I'm like, "You were right."
Also, we need new batteries.
That's not even exaggerating. I know
Putting a
like,
battery.
precisely where dumb items in our house are. I can
true.
recall that, but nothing else.
It's a unique talent, though.
Okay.
Let's roll.
Well, you adjourn to a conference room, and she's just sitting there and just kind of looking at the 4 of you. What have you found?
Well, if it's okay with you, gentlemen, I'd like to start.
Go for it.
We found something quite disturbing. Based on their accounts of the invisible creature, well, not invisible, but for its speed, moving and slaughtering, glowing. I believe we're dealing with a creature called a shard.
I've never heard of that before.
If you're unfamiliar, it's because there's not been an account of them for some time. Hundreds of years, perhaps. Created beings, they were. Beings of extreme power and capability. Where they came from or who created them, I'm afraid we don't know. What we do know is that some of the, what were they called? The Searchers had a name.
The Searchers.
The, like, people who were mapping the continent.
Oh, the Lore Masters.
The Lore Masters, right.
Yeah.
The Lore Masters even feared them.
She's heard of Lore Masters,
Yeah.
and she kind of...
By all accounts, based on what we've heard from the gentleman we
Now,
interviewed.
keep in mind that there were hundreds of there, in addition to the other one that she saw. There were 6 and 60.
Right.
So it wasn't just one.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
afraid
No,
of.
no,
Just-
sure, of
yeah,
course.
just keep
course.
it.
You're right, yeah. He'd even mentioned that, like, she recounted seeing a myriad of them, hundreds, in fact. Almost 400. While none of us have ever encountered one, of course, and I don't think there are any modern accounts of an encounter with one based upon that writing, I'm reasonably confident that that is what we're facing.
How many?
I would guess 2. From the wagons, specially constructed to house it. Some property perhaps they possess, I don't know.
From what we did read, they are quite destructive, very deadly, and probably very hard to catch.
Very hard to kill.
So, how confident are you that these creatures are loose in the Empire?
Besides,
Pretty confident.
I'm afraid I am. I don't know if they would have ventured far or if they're under some sort of control from this wizard, Haphos. Haphos. I don't know to what degree he controls them, if any, or if he set them loose.
Did your research speak of a control?
Not that we found.
No, it didn't. Yeah.
No. That doesn't mean he hasn't spent time deciphering a way to do that. There are artifacts, you know.
If there are created creature of murdering beasts, they could be controlled if they were created to begin with.
That seems logical.
I don't know. That's not the kind of magic that I can promise.
I see. Do you think we need reinforcements?
I think we should scout it out first.
From the sounds of these
That
tales,
is my thought also.
reinforcements might not help. We do have it on the word of these engineers that these tunnels were constructed to Imperial standard, the best of their abilities, and something unnatural caused them to collapse. It wasn't an aether storm or any sort of natural phenomenon.
I think it was a very unnatural phenomenon.
Do you think Haphos did that? Is that what you're saying?
It could have been him. It could
That is a wild claim that
It could have been
Order of
it could have
Herman
been
wizard
those
murdered hundreds of people.
things that he unleashed as a side effect, something he may not have looked to.
Either way, we need to bring him in.
I'd like to inspect the wagons if they're still there.
That's a good place to start. If they were contained, it would have been through some magical or technological means, based on our reading.
Yes. I do think that we should go ahead to scout it out first. I'd hate for reinforcements to arrive and just end in a disaster.
Well, that and a lot of our resources are tasked elsewhere right now. I would have to call in Legionnaire support, and I don't like to do that.
I believe we should leave quickly.
Agreed. We should leave tonight.
More people won't make a difference. Just draw more attention to it.
Well, it is about a day's ride. We would travel through the night. You will, of course, get a level of exhaustion if you do that. If you're okay with that.
We will, of course, leave in the morning then.
We should get a good night's sleep before we leave.
How are we traveling there? Are you walking?
On horse.
Horses.
Yeah. I mean, the quartermaster can provide you any standard equipment.
Okay.
We'll leave at first light.
First light.
Meet at the stables. Don't be late.
Be left behind.
Jag always wakes up early.
Gotta take my morning bath.
Yes. We hear the infernal licking. You've licked places I can't reach.
All right. Well,
should
is there any? I mean, I assume you wouldn't have any standard equipment you wanted before we started. So
Yeah.
you know,
Got it all. Yep.
The next morning, you wake up. She's waiting for you there at the stables. The horses are prepped and ready, and you start off.
Tight.
It is about a day's journey. Fast forward, and you reach. You have to cross a river once, but as you get, you can see the Hating Ridge Mountains off in the background. The fort itself is sitting on kind of a low hill. Nothing, exceptionally, but it's enough that it kind of pushes it high above the forest. Fort Argonia. You can As you're riding, you kind of crest the top of a hill. There's no, you don't see smoke. You don't smell campfires. There's really no sign. As you kind of crest the top of the hill, you can kind of see the keep in the distance. You can give me perception checks.
Cool.
All of
Is
us?
this one of the ones we get to roll with advantage if we help each other?
Yeah.
I think
if you want to do that.
I'll help. What's your perception look like? Nope. What's your perception look like, Kurt?
I have +8.
All right.
Well, yeah.
Give him advantage.
Okay.
Just be like, no.
And then you two can just roll.
So,
Roll. Yep.
giving me advantage? Or
Yep.
Oh, good.
19?
Yeah.
Okay. You better than 19?
Am I supposed to roll too?
You can roll, yeah. He was just helping him.
Just
I got
helping
a
out.
14, and then what am I doing?
Perception.
That's a +0, so it's still a 14.
All right.
Pretty good.
I nailed it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, you can see the keep from the distance. You can see the front gates are blasted outward.
Oh,
Okay.
One of them is just,
sure, just hanging
yeah. You can see holes in the walls in different places.
in stone.
Yes. Yeah.
It's completely destroyed.
Nope.
No?
No, just pieces here and there. Bodies just splayed out on the field in front of just a quiet calm. There's like a mist kind of getting dissipated by the sun. Carrion birds everywhere.
Do the holes look like, is there a lot of debris around the holes, or does it look more like something very precise, kind of bored?
You don't see any debris.
Okay, so it's a very precise hole in the...
That is super fascinating.
That is...
When we get closer, I would like to inspect some of the bodies to see if
Okay.
their
What they look like?
brains had been feasted on,
Sure,
like
sure.
described in the...
Good thinking.
So as you come down the hill, there is a tree line that is probably 400 yards before the keep itself.
Okay.
And in the tree line itself, there was kind of pickets that they had set up there. And there are bodies on the pickets sprawled out. You can see just from where you're sitting, like the keep itself, there were probably 200, maybe 300 people inside of it. Outside, there was probably about the same number. They were hoping to breach and go and enter through the courtyard, possibly,
Okay.
with the sappers. So otherwise, they would have a larger force here and siege units. But they probably wanted to keep the keep intact,
Right.
because they could always collapse the tunnels behind them. You know, whether magically or the sappers could do it themselves.
Right. Devin just hooked us up with another divine inspo. Thanks, Devin.
Thank you, Devin.
Devin.
We're gonna need it.
So, when we get up to the gate, I wouldn't enter immediately. I would take Tia.
Well, you're hundreds of yards away from
okay.
the gate. You're kind of at the picket line, and you can look at the bodies at this point.
Oh, we are, like, close.
You've got to make your way down along the hill into the tree line where the picket. Where
4 football fields away.
Okay,
yeah,
but there are, like, dead bodies
Oh, yeah.
scattered all the way out here. Okay, well then let's take a look.
Okay. So you guys can make a group check, or you can assist each other with very specific checks. You can tell me how you want to do it.
I would like to investigate the body.
Okay. So you'll do investigation.
I have a question about the environment.
Go ahead.
Is there any birds or any animal activity in that
Yeah.
area?
You see carrion birds.
Okay, they're all over. Okay.
Yep. You can see bodies kind of laying on the parapets.
Okay. I was concerned if it was something magical, maybe there wouldn't be any...
24 on my investigation.
Okay.
Alright.
Well, anything specific that you're looking for?
Just inspecting the bodies to look at wounds. And,
Okay.
and he's not proficient in medicine, I don't think. Let me just double check if I'm proficient in medicine.
I don't think you are.
think so.
I think I looked at all your.
Yeah,
I don't think
so not necessarily looking at it from a medical standpoint, just looking at the type of wounds.
Sure. It looks like parts of heads are cut off. Forearms are cut off. Legs are cut off. It looks like whatever cut them clean. Like surgically, yes.
Cut through armor, clothing.
Armor, bone. Like the bone isn't even fragmented for whatever cut them.
Oh, so they didn't fall.
Does it look like any cauterization, like it burned through, or is it?
You don't. With your investigation, you see kind of actually necrotic flesh around the edge of it. You suspect it was probably some kind of poison, maybe.
Could I do an Arcana check? I don't know why that would help, but I'm just good at Arcana, so I'm trying to spin it.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, not with what you're seeing here.
Okay.
You do see the wagons kind of out in the middle of way out in the middle of the field, about 150 yards from where the picket line is.
I would walk close enough to where I could release Tia.
Okay. What's your range? Like, is it 100 feet?
100 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you make of this, Dion? Trust your intuition.
Assume you any rolls you want to make? And rolls you want to make.
I think while they are looking at all the bodies, they're a lot more insightful than I am. I'm going to kind of start sneaking towards the wagons as well, and sort of a stealthy-ish.
I would
kind of keep an eye
I
out.
would stop him and say, no.
Well, roll your stealth. You may not see him. Well, it is in the open, so
Yeah.
she's going to see you.
Well, okay.
I would
not like belly rolling, but just sort of like
quietly.
while they're looking, and I'm going to kind of
Okay.
keep an eye
Can
out
I roll
on the...
perception to see if I see him trying to sneak out?
Give me a stealth check.
That's fine. It's...
You can roll an
I may
advantage to try
I may
to
have not described it very well. It's not to like sneak away. It's more to just keep an eye out on what's going on.
Kind of
While they're looking at this, I'm kind of looking out.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
to like cover.
Give me a survival check actually. While
Survival?
You're doing that. Yeah.
All right. Oh, get a 10.
Okay. You see a lot of obviously tracks in the ground. From the 10, you can see that these soldiers were running in all directions.
Okay.
You also see these strange kind of streaks in the grass.
Like streaks like
plow lines.
You rolled a 10.
okay. Okay, I got you.
You just see weird
not
kind
sure what they
of
are.
like it looks like the grass
familiar with
is
streaks.
mashed down. It looks like the grass is mashed down like kind of a straight
There's a lot of
line.
different kinds of streaks.
And they're just kind of like you're kind of scattered all over the place. But with your roll, you don't really correlate a whole lot,
Gotcha,
unfortunately.
So I would like to walk a bit closer. Is there? Are we in a clearing now, or
It's
there?
the wagons are in the wide open.
Okay. That's cool. I'll just do that.
It's fine.
So I'll walk. I'm sure it's fine. So I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna
Go ahead.
be holding Tia, my little familiar,
Okay.
pat her head, put her on the ground,
scratch on the chin.
and I am going to.
I'm not even gonna look for it.
Yeah, I am going to have her go to the wagons, jump inside, look around, and I'm gonna like warg. So I
Okay.
can see through her eyes.
All right. Just realize you can't. I mean, you're kind of helpless during that.
Yeah.
Okay. You're all right with it.
But survival over here has got my back.
Okay. Well, you.
Check out these streaks.
All right. Well, Tia kind of
her way.
yeah, and jumps up to the cart, kind of looks in. On the outside, the carts are metal.
Okay.
The wheels seem to be there's like double sets of wheels, like they're reinforced to kind of support the. It looks like they're made of iron, actually.
Are they built in such a way that would tell me that what the wagons were carrying was very heavy?
No, just that the wagon, just the metal that created the wagon,
wagon
was
itself
very
was pretty heavy.
Yeah, and kind of looks inside. All you really see are
When she gets in the entrance, though, she like rubs her jowl on it. Just so you know.
she sees that there are how do I explain it? Almost like meat hooks hanging in there, but they're not sharp. They're just kind of like they're shaped like that,
Okay.
right? And you see 6 of them, like bolted into the wall.
6 total?
6 total, like 3 pairs.
3 pairs, okay.
Yeah,
Are the wagons identical inside?
they are.
Okay. Are they dirty at all? Or is there any blood inside?
No,
No debris or anything like that?
no, there's really nothing else in there. And it looked around. There's not you don't see like arcane runes or
Nothing.
anything like that. They're just plain, unadorned. In fact, as you look at the wagon, it almost looks like the wagons were built like these are like cargo containers.
Okay.
And they were like the wagons were built to support them. In fact, as you look at the wood, it looks like it was fairly newly constructed.
Okay. And how are the wagons transported, like by a large animal?
Horses.
Okay.
Yeah. Draft horses. Probably at least 4 per.
Per?
Yeah.
Okay.
But no horses in sight near the way.
Nope. It looks like, it doesn't look like the horses broke away. It just looks like they were probably...
The wagons were set here and the horses were taken.
And he did whatever he did.
Okay. Well, nothing else around the wagons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll have Tia come back. I will unwarg myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, nothing terrible happens to you in that time.
Thank you. That was really nice of you, Jeff.
At least I could do it for making me angry.
Birds or
What do we think?
I'll walk back over to them.
Okay.
I'm assuming you guys saw what just happened. I mean, you would know about the familiar
Yeah.
being able to
Yeah. You know what she was doing.
Yeah.
So I'd walk over and say, you know, the wagons are very plain. They're just made of metal, and inside there are 3 sets of hooks. Not sharp hooks, just hooks to hang something.
They were like 3/4 of the way up the wagon. And the wagons themselves, like the height of them, they're 12 feet tall.
Tall,
big.
tall wagons,
Yeah.
but like
And it's not like there was probably, to be honest, there's probably 2 sets. There's like 4 wheels, like double wheels on either side. Like 8 wheels total.
heavy boys.
Yeah. So it's about 12 feet tall, and then long, it was probably maybe 10?
It's a pretty grand wagon.
Yeah.
how large did the creatures look?
10 feet was what
The description said they were 10 feet tall.
10 feet tall?
That they all were 10 feet tall.
Okay.
Those hooks would have been used to restrain something.
And the wagons were...
They just look like this. And they were attached to the wall.
Or a handhold for something waiting to exit.
Or that.
The wagons are definitely large enough to hold those beasts that we read about. They're huge wagons, but there's nothing more in them.
In fact, as you kind of look back with your roll, I'm not even really make you make this roll. You can see that the divots are much, much deeper before they get here. Obviously, the doors, and as you look closer, you can roll an investigate on the doors if you want.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
Jeff, that's a natural 1.
What'd you get?
I also got a natural one,
Okay, all right. Cool.
What are doors?
but it's natural.
19.
All right, well, the two of you see that...
We're too busy arguing. Like, no, well, the beast could have.
You can see that it was just one door that would swing open, but like the hinges were sliced on the inside.
So just chopped it off.
Well, the doors are no longer useful.
No, they're laying on the ground. Yeah.
So,
Whatever was in it cut straight through the bolts, dropped the door like it was nothing.
could have done that to our cell. It would have been a lot nicer.
You know, the strangest part about all of this is there's no debris anywhere. Just like those doors, it seems that everything was cleanly broken. I don't understand it.
Do we see these people who have appendages and stuff sliced off? Are those gone too, or are they laying around?
You can see, like,
Oh, yeah,
their
you can see the
limbs.
pieces everywhere. And it's not like they didn't bleed.
Do
Yeah.
they have brains?
These do.
Okay.
These do. Yeah, they do.
That was very dramatic, though. So.
Well, there's nothing left to do now but approach the keep, I believe.
Agreed.
I would recommend to be on your best guard that you can.
I think that we should send Tia in first again, just like we did with the wagon. She can get pretty far. I can see what there is.
What about your bat? Can he fly over the top?
The bat can indeed.
We can send the 2 cats in the bat then.
Team cats and bats.
Well, while our animals are looking around, you do need to keep an eye. It will be up to you to
That is fine.
defend us.
Try and guard you to the best of my abilities, but should one of these things appear, if they have not left these grounds, if we shake you, will you awake?
I'm not going to view through my bat's eyes. I'll let it alert me if it hears or sees something. But if you wish to look, that makes more sense.
To see inside the building.
I'll have Egon just look over the top and pull him out, sleeping upside down. Pull a little berry out. Like, here you go.
I do hate to say it, but if those beasts are around, they're going to get to us first. You're not going to be able to shake us.
Well, it might be nice to look through death through your own eyes, in that case.
I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself when he says that. Sorry.
Well, if you have mage armor, I assume it's up.
yeah, I always
Yeah.
assume that
I
too.
mean, you have it also as a invocation, correct? Armor of Shadows.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for looking at my character sheet.
He was like, huh?
Huh? What's an invocation?
Well, what's that oil you got? It takes 10 minutes to put it on.
It makes me go ethereal. I get to another plane. I'm gonna do that.
I'm out!
When this shit gets real bad, I'm gonna be like, peace.
You guys put up for just 10
It sucks for you guys. Crying, pouring
Just
potion over you.
shampooing it in.
You're just staring at her
You
watching.
gotta really lather it into the ethereal plane.
I get to the
Your hair
ethereal
shows
plane.
up first.
Your hair disappears as you're lathering it all. I like it.
Real shampoo.
I would have Egon fly and be like, I think he would whisper into its little fuzzy ears.
Bad ears.
Just bleat loudly.
Fucking sheep.
Bats bleat? I don't
No, that's a sheep.
Well, I'm not going to say echolocate.
Certain bats will gnash their teeth together
Oh, really?
and make crazy.
Make that like,
yeah.
Do that one.
He happens to be one of those
Yeah.
bats.
Well, that's what I mean. by
Honestly,
bleat.
it sounds like the metal grinding on metal.
Really?
There's one called, I think it's a hoary bat, which is in this area. It's like
I'm really impressed with your knowledge of bats.
Yeah, you
right
are
now.
a bat king. We saw a bat flying around outside. Remember when the bat flew in on Poe?
Oh my god, that shit was crazy.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, we'll release the bat and instruct it to come back to me agitatedly.
Release the
if
bat.
it
Hears something.
sees. Okay.
Hears really.
All right.
It's got the hearing going.
I will,
Okay.
and then I will.
Are you gonna warg it?
I'm gonna warg it.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna,
we're now,
my
like,
eyes will roll back.
But
Yeah.
are we? We're still just.
They have to get within 100.
We've got to be about 80
You
feet
don't.
from the door. I don't, but she does.
She has to be.
Which means we're all going to be
We're
surrounded.
kind of just stood in the
out in the open.
open the front door.
I imagine that we're up on this, on
Is
the
there-
stairs,
Okay.
to go in. But I'm sending the cat in
Cat first.
to just look around the first floor to see if there's any
So because there is one door that's just blown open, so the cat's just kinda
Yeah, it's
going
basically.
there.
I know. I don't. We didn't have a door, but effectively one of those sides is blown open.
Gotcha. So
I would be standing right next to Raina, ready to
You can turn on the battle cam
to
if you want,
deflect any
just in case,
missiles.
Steven.
Oh,
just
God.
in case.
so
what does
then-
that mean?
Making the
just in
transaction.
case. So then at this point,
Not a transaction. Actually, the transaction is me paying Jeff to keep my character alive. Microtransaction from
yeah.
the DM.
so at this point, I guess I'm pulling out a rapier,
Battle cam, though, am I right?
getting ready to go in here. I want to
Okay.
make sure I got something going.
Mage armor gives you 13 plus your dex, right?
Correct.
Yep.
So what do you have?
15.
15 normal class.
I have an 18.
Just keep pushing it up.
We're really high dex, Jeff.
What are we missing character-wise?
I'm missing Lydia.
Oh, and you're also
You
missing
track the cat when it goes.
Tia's gonna be in.
Tia's gonna. All right, as you kind of warg through, your bat doesn't come screeching back as it flies over the walls. Tia kind of stealths in, kind of looking around. It is daylight. It's actually probably early morning,
Okay.
and you just see bodies everywhere. Give me a perception check. Does it use her perception, the cat's perception?
You still use your mental. state,
Yeah,
don't
if
you?
I'm like,
I don't know that it does.
But I think it uses the cat's perception.
I think it does use the cat's perception also.
Oh, thank you, Daltimus subscribed, which gives us
oh, thank you.
But on the condition that Castle Mac Bat Facts becomes a reality.
Absolutely.
We're going to start a newsletter, Castle Mac Bat Facts.
Castle Bat.
That's my boy, Ultimus.
Yeah? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's up, Daltimus? Thank you.
You can communicate with it telepathically. You can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of the
Okay.
next turn.
So yeah, roll its
You roll
perception.
it.
Gaining the benefits of any special senses that familiar
Which I don't
has.
think the cat has. So
Has what?
I don't think
Keen eyesight.
it might have keen, but it doesn't have dark vision or anything.
It has
like that,
keen,
which is weird.
It has keen
kinda weird.
smell, so I can make smells checks.
Okay, smells checks not going to help you a whole lot for this particular one. It will be a
body.
visual.
Okay, so he does have +3 to perception.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
She has +3 to perception.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you see bodies.
Gives her a 7.
Yeah, that's a good roll.
Yeah.
for
Good
something
job,
else.
little kitty.
Do you want to use one of these
Yeah.
for the
I
cat?
do. I want to. Yes.
Okay.
I do.
What do your cat eyes see?
That's good.
So that's a 14. That's
Okay.
A 14.
You see the bodies, as I described earlier. Some of the bodies actually have holes in them,
Ugh.
like they were bored out of their chest.
Gross.
You see 3 of them who look like something ate their brains.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
You also see, as you're kind of looking around, you see kind of laid around, and at first it doesn't really. It looks like statues have been kind of toppled over. 3 of them. They have, but as you kind of look closer, you see that the statues actually have arrows in them.
No.
2 of them do, and they look like, again, the statues look like they fell down, and they were sculpted to look in the position that they fell.
Oh.
I'm not buying it.
Okay.
A
Can,
3rd one,
Sorry.
which is over there at the base of those stairs, doesn't seem to have any wounds on it, meaning arrows in it, but it is laying there.
I would like to send Tia to that one and just have her, start kneading on his chest.
Okay.
Scratching on it a little.
Again, it looks like a stone statue, but as she kind of kneads on it, it's kind of like this weird leathery, almost, and almost like there's a little bit of like a fur to it. It doesn't react to it though.
No reaction.
No.
Lick it.
Look at see how far you can.
I'm assuming you could probably have. I don't know. Would you have sense of touch?
As a cat.
Familiar?
It says you
cat
see
bug.
its
Cat's
senses,
little-
doesn't it?
Cats have little toe beans.
No.
Yeah,
Would you have those senses?
I'm
though?
gonna bite those little toe beans. what does it say? That's
You
2
just said.
episodes in a row where we've talked about biting little creatures' feet. Because we talked
Well,
about
that's because Andrew had little feet on his
little
creature.
feet.
Beats don't.
What does
fail
it
me.
say again? I always just do vision and eyesight, but I think
During
it
this-
says you.
You gaining the benefits of any special senses that the familiar has. You can see through familiar's eyes and hear what it hears.
Sight and sound, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't really have anything other. But I mean, you can't see it.
Okay, so I
Kind of-
did.
You're like, and it just doesn't move.
It doesn't react.
No.
Can I smell it?
Yeah.
I just want to make that smells check.
Sure, you can roll that.
Because does it smell like a human? Like a cat would know
Sure.
what a human
Yeah,
smelled
yeah,
like,
yeah.
or
Or what a shard smells like.
Jesus Christ.
Plus,
4, so 9.
yeah. The problem is there's just like this,
You are
almost like this.
You're out.
What's overwhelming the cat is like this almost acrid smell.
an
in the air.
acrid smell.
Not on it, just generally in the air.
Okay. So if the cat has that special sense, it communicates that information to me telepathically. Okay.
And as you get close, you can see that it does not have any eyes. It has eye sockets,
Yeah.
but they're just sunken back into like black orbs.
It
But there's nothing in it.
It looks like the description of the shard.
It looks like the description of the not shard
lesser.
but the lesser ones.
The lesser shards.
Yeah.
Oh, we can take him then.
No, you can't. Okay. Nothing else to inspect for the cat.
Shard the
Not
lesser.
really. You see the stairs leading up into the keep proper.
I do want to see one more thing.
Sure.
The shards, what I'm assuming are shards on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have blood on them?
No,
Not around their mouths or anything?
nothing.
Is blood leaking from the other humans?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But give me another perception check as you get close to them.
You got it.
So that's
14.
a 13. 14. I'm sorry, it's a 14.
Yeah, something about them smells off though.
Okay.
Not in the sense of like a predator. Like she kind of recoils back as she
Okay.
gets close to the ones that have the arrows in them.
Okay.
And as you kind of look closer, you can see not where the arrow wounds are, but like on the top of the wrists of the arm, there's like a raised flap of skin. That's like maybe like that wide, because it's probably even wider than that because her arms are probably like that. It's probably like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something's kind of leaking out on either side of where that flap is. And whatever it is, she kind of recoils at it.
it stinks to a cat?
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
Okay, if that's all that there is for her to inspect, I'd have her come back out.
Okay.
And then
Nothing happens to her. She makes her way out.
I'd unwarg.
Okay.
And then I would relay to the party. I think that I see what might be the lesser shards inside. The one with the empty eye sockets.
Are they living?
Doesn't appear. They're lying on the ground. They look like statues, but the statues look like they were shaped to lay on the ground, such as they
The
fell.
text said they looked like statues when they weren't moving.
How many
Yes,
are there?
you said.
Were they resting on the ground? Why were they laying on the ground?
They were laying on the ground. Yeah.
They were
In awkward positions.
They were shot with arrows.
And they are fallible.
Not all of them.
No, I was getting there.
I'm sorry. Just want to make sure that's clear.
There's 2 that were shot with arrows. There's another one laying on the ground, but again, it looks like it was sculpted to lay in the ground, like it fell there and then became a statue. But it didn't have any arrows in it.
How many did you say appeared dead?
2. With another one laying on the ground.
It's just 3 total.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was laying on the ground with no arrows, though. Tia did go up to it. It didn't move.
It probably wouldn't for a cat.
And the ones with the arrows, they stunk. The humans in there, it's terrible. Their brains were eaten.
Of course they were.
We need
There's
to
holes
confirm
in
if
them.
they're dead or alive, though. We cannot just operate on a vision of a cat. We need to make sure that those creatures are dead.
It's not the vision of a cat, though. It's
This is what we're here for. Let's go in.
Agreed.
We've done all the reconnaissance we can do.
Our last bit of recon.
Propose you go first. I'll be behind you.
I've got a rapier out. I can get a knife out
Okay.
as well.
Sure.
Well, that. I guess the short one can lead the way. Take out his staff and kind of lean on it.
The quick one, the lucky one.
Most lucky. Lean on his staff, and he'd have a couple of darts in his other hand too, just in case. And he kind of edge his way in. I think he'd try and be stealthy about it
Yeah.
as best he could.
So I realize these aren't exact. Just
yeah.
follow them as best you can.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I'll err in your favor. So the rest of you are still out there. You move to there. So she saw the one without. There's one over there by that, and there's one over there on the far side. The ones with the arrows on the far sides.
Gotcha.
And the one by the stairs, right, is what you said?
It doesn't have any. The first thing that you notice, you probably would have noticed this too. I should have. You see these streaks in the ground. All over. It's very obvious in here because it's dirt inside of here.
Some
Yeah.
streaks outside.
In fact, give me a. This would actually be an investigation.
Good old Dion, what have you gotten yourself into now? How does
what that
11
is.
look?
His dice are unreadable. It's part of his
How did you
strategy.
see it from there and I couldn't see
Exactly.
it
Dude,
in
it's
front
just,
of me?
look at them all. They're all like weird contrasts.
Oh, he cheats.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cheating,
really think
cheating
he
for
just
that
picks-
11.
What
Okay,
his
hey, that's
dice
cool.
want to be.
Yeah.
Well, you got to call a couple of 11s so you call 20s later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
it-
those 20s I never rolled.
It looks like several of these lines end where these soldiers are. Several of them, not all of them. Well, actually, a lot of them don't. But that's all you really get with that.
But dead soldiers are at the end of some of the streaks.
Like a handful of them. Yeah.
I'd go in behind him. Like, I saw what was in the room.
Okay, so you go in.
Now, I did say I tried to end her as stealthily as possible.
Not
so
me.
yeah, she
Yeah,
kind
I
of
would-
Yeah, I mean, you can try to move quietly, but
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't, like, fucking barge up in.
No, and
Like
you're
we
not in
said.
armor.
No.
So I would move in as well. And then what's the light?
It's
Like,
a courtyard.
We'll also.
Oh, this is
Oh, that's
The
right.
keep is back
keep is
there.
here. This is outside
This is
still.
outside still.
I would also.
I will not be
there.
melting into the walls. And the
Well, you can climb the walls.
Yeah.
You have a climb
Yeah.
speed, right?
I do,
Yeah.
but
Do you know how these work?
how?
The inspiration beads?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. you're clear on
These?
that.
Bees.
Speaking of which, I'd like to give Lydia one for following me and not hesitating from people.
No, so I think
I'm
she
not
just talked over us.
hesitating. I'm just bringing up the rear. That's old.
Thank you. I would like to inspire Tia.
Wow.
If you want to inspire your familiar, I don't have a problem with that. I think your players might grumble at
Which
that.
one of us gets the raw end of that deal?
Okay, so no, I would like to inspire Stephen, though, for critting that investigation check
thanks.
and finding us all that information out
Yes,
about these
first
sons
roll.
of bitches.
Nice.
Yeah,
That was
well,
important.
We know
Yeah.
just how screwed we are.
I'll keep playing it for them. I'd like to inspire Coach here for Dion being so lucky and like hitting every rake in the yard.
Everyone's
Right,
inspired, so that's not a whole lot for. I'll wait. You guys will use them. I'll toss it out later on.
So, as we enter, does anything change?
Nope.
The one that doesn't have arrows in it that I know about is right here.
Correct. Yeah.
Can I attack it?
If you would like to. Yeah, you can. Go ahead and roll.
I'm going to do
Go ahead
it.
and roll.
All right.
As soon as she starts casting spells, like, oh,
No, in fact,
Basically, what's going to happen is she's going to go, and then we're going to roll it.
No.
Do
so
it.
Do it.
Listen.
we're listening.
I want to attack it, but I want it to make me a wisdom save.
Okay.
Can it?
It can. What type of
Shit.
type of wisdom
Wait,
save?
What type of wisdom
Lydia
save?
likes to
What
make
is it?
you guess what she's casting.
She doesn't even know. I don't know your spells, so
I'm
know.
doing a Toll the Dead.
I know
Yep.
what it is.
okay.
That's Lid's number one cantrip.
That's her
Well, if
go-to.
you're far
It's a good
away
one.
and you don't want to like attack
I'm
it,
not arguing with you.
I
It's a
want to
good
know
one.
if it's dead and if
I
it
thought you
fails
might have
the
been
save.
Eldritch blasting when you said you were attacking.
That was
it.
my initial plan, and then
okay.
I was like, no, I'm going to see if
changed
I'm going to see
it.
if it's alive enough to make me a save.
What kind of damage is it?
Necrotic.
Okay. And it's a wisdom? Mm-hmm.
15.
Fails. 2 3s.
Tight. Is it damaged?
No, it's not damaged.
It's
It
taking
is
no
now.
damage?
You can roll your damage.
Tight. So it's 2d8.
All right, well, let's get the initiative ready.
All right.
Yep.
Those out.
You guys are so happy I joined your game.
You just walked in and,
Wow.
finger gun blasted a,
I didn't finger gun blast it. It made a save.
Like a real.
All right, so
That initiative.
again, whenever you cast Toll the Dead, you're the only Toll the Bed.
Guys, this got so after hours.
I got
Toll the bed. Castle Neck after hours.
really taking a toll on the bed.
So go on.
You do see that it fully affects this creature, and it just, you see its head snap over and look directly at you, and it starts to move. But it is initiative.
Okay.
Tight.
Well, here we go, Rainier. Thank you.
Right.
Roll its initiative.
I got a good initiative. Oh, I get to roll for Tia too, right?
No, just do it on your initiative. It's annoying to do it otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
They operate kind of like Osprey, remember him?
My
Dion.
bat would have been flying back, by the
I
way.
remember
Yeah,
Osprey.
yeah. Dion.
That would be a
Remember hearing about
17.
Osprey.
Okay. Jag.
12.
Okay. Malbrooks.
I'm a 21.
It's not a
Oh,
competition.
I'm a dirty 20.
Okay.
Castle Neck after hours.
We've reached Casamac after hours. We got all your dirty 20s.
Called 1-800
Toll the bed.
Dark Castle Mac Dungeon.
Son of a bitches, I hate you all.
1-800 Toll the bed.
Toll free.
Toll free, toll the bed.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, viewers.
No, we're not. Welcome to Friday Night Castle Mac.
All right, well, it's not moving yet. You can target it.
Snap.
But it did react, right? Like it, like
Oh, it moved.
its head up.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's starting to get up.
Oh my
Okay.
god, it's like in Haunting of Hill House when
Oh,
a
God.
neck
yeah.
would snap around all the time and it just
Bent neck
plays in my
lady.
head over and
This is
over.
not good. Okay, I am going to. Is my bat is close enough? What's the fly speed of a bat? Whatever. Bat on this
So he
turn.
only put it on the map.
Yeah, bat at
That's
this
right there.
turn.
That's right here.
Will
He's
be.
putting the statue on it.
Listen, bat facts over here should know the flying speed.
Yeah, it seems.
Move it up 1 hex, but keep it laying on the ground.
Is it prone?
Yes.
Okay. Then for my turn, my bat boy is going to
B-boy.
fly here. Hold its action to help me if that thing gets adjacent to it.
Okay.
I am going to hold my action that as soon as it crosses this threshold, I'm going to cast a spell at it.
Okay.
Cool?
Yep. Hold your action, Reyna.
That is, I like that,
That's
Jeff.
pretty cool.
I meant to put them on both sides so you guys can see, but I kind of have to look at
He
them.
messed
So
up.
Listen, is Hex a bonus action?
Hex is a bonus action.
Okay. I'm gonna hex that MFer.
Okay. It works. I'll allow it.
Thank you. And then I would try to hit it with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
And now I get 2.
You do, but you will be at disadvantage because it's prone.
Yes.
Deal.
You're allowed to agree with me, yes.
You're correct.
Thank you. I appreciate
However,
that.
I do have my familiar.
Uh-huh.
My familiar acts on my turn, right?
Does. I don't know if I can get over there.
I can't.
Because you're about what?
It has a 40. Oh, it has a 30-foot movement speed. Never mind.
And to aid is it's action.
Yeah.
Right? So you can move it, start moving it.
Yeah, fine. I'll just do that. That's cool. Anyways, I don't need to count that out at right this moment, but I will hit it with an Eldritch Blast at disadvantage.
Okay.
Let me find a good die.
Yeah, pick the best one.
Yeah.
Pick one that's hard to read
I'll
so
go
you
you
can make
and
up the
you.
number.
Yeah.
Those
Oh,
are
it's
the
a
best
20.
ones. Let me tell you.
So the first one, I got a 3 and a 4.
Negatory, good buddy.
Okay.
Check.
I am a plus.
AC.
No.
I am a plus 7.
Well, that's better.
7 plus 7, so 14.
That is hit it.
Tight. Okay, so a hex is a d6, and I wanted to have disadvantage on dexterity saves.
Okay.
That seems like it would be helpful.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
You know what? I found out that Hex isn't quite as good as we've been playing it. It doesn't actually give disadvantage on saves.
No, it doesn't.
It's on ability. checks.
But if you want to try to
Skills.
grapple someone,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, I think we've been playing
not
it that it gives
very good.
disadvantage on saves, but
So-
you
9,
rolled
5,
an extra
5.
d10. You're only rolling
You're right.
one d10.
You're right. Okay.
So
I'll just reroll both
or
of
you
those.
destroy the map.
Yeah, tear the castle apart.
Lydia casts Destroy Map.
Oh.
Nice!
6 plus your charisma, right? Because
Which
you
is a
have
4.
Yep.
You got Agonizing Blast.
Yeah.
You don't
Okay.
have fun with that Agonizing Blast. Who
All right. Well, the first blast, you just kind of misjudge it, and
Yeah.
it slams into the stone and just shatters part of the stone because it is force damage.
Yeah.
The other one clips it across the shoulder, and it does kind of move its shoulder a little bit, and it just eyes are fixed on you.
I love it. Let me ask you a
Yes.
question about my force damage. When it hit the stone, did the stone? It wasn't clean, like it crumbled, like you would expect stone to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of that debris damages.
It's these boys' scything hands.
Yeah, you just lost an arm, dude. Terrible luck.
You want to move?
No.
Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Steven
seems
just
like a bad
killed
idea.
my arm.
Yeah,
right.
I want to move outside
Its turn.
and then back home.
So stand it up, please.
No.
And it starts to move. Nope. It starts to move
Oh man.
around,
What a jerk.
and it's moving so fast that you guys are like having a hard time tracking it. In
Tight.
fact, to target it while it's moving like this, you have to make an intelligence check to estimate where it's going to stop to try
Tight.
to target it.
I didn't
All right.
plan for that.
Can
Jeff.
I fire off my held action? Which way does it go? Where do you want it?
So it basically kind of sweeps around to here, and it starts spinning its arms.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Power
Like the
up.
windmill?
Exactly like the windmill. And as it does,
Awkward little bastard.
it snaps its arm, and above its wrist, you see this disc fly out.
Oh.
I told you.
a disc?
Ah,
Yeah.
man.
That's really good.
And you hear this like snapping, crunching noise as it starts spinning towards you, like it broke off on the inside of his arm.
Pretty tight.
So like a
Jeffrey.
quill almost, like a razor quill.
It's like almost like the size of a CD, but it's made of
CD.
bone.
Bringing CDs.
Yeah. It's like an 8-track.
That's good.
You're awful. Did you make this up? Did you make these up, or are they like in a book somewhere?
Sure.
Which answer would make you feel better?
They are inspired by something, but
No, I'm just
I
wondering,
love it.
because
but
this
some
is,
of it I have.
I was just wondering because it's so spooky and I'm afraid, and it's a really cool.
I'm about it. We're gonna die,
want
but
me
I'm
to
about
do?
it.
Well, your attack is going off first.
Yeah.
So you do, even though you're holding your action, you still have to make an intelligence check.
Got it.
I will. So let me see what.
Just straight intelligence.
Yeah, it's an intelligence check.
Intelligence is
It is.
one of my good ones.
I'm actually going to give you advantage on this because you're holding your action.
Tight. I'll take that because I might need it. How's a 19?
A 19. You're watching it and you're about to unleash the spell where it was. You're like, oh, that's right. The speed at which they move is.
Yeah, man.
And you kind of start recalling some of the information,
Right.
and you just start tracking it, and you're just waiting for it to stop, and it literally stops dead still when it flings these discs out.
Tight.
But you.
All right, well, I'm
You are
going
not
to
fully
cast my good friend Scorching Ray,
All right.
and I'm going to fire off
He's my good
3.
friend, too.
Yeah, you know Ray? Scorching Ray?
You will be at disadvantage on all of these, even though you know where it's not. So here's how the mechanic works.
Son of a.
If you fail the save, you can't target it that round.
Gotcha.
If you
If you do,
succeed,
you got
any attack
disadvantage.
rolls are at a disadvantage.
All right, well, here we
Ranged
go.
attack or all
attacks.
Here we go.
Spells
Here we go.
or whatever.
First attack. That would be a 16.
That will hit.
I'm just going to roll for all of them, okay? 16. I'm going to reroll that with my inspiration. Do I reroll one or both?
One.
Just one. That's a nat 20, but I don't know
But
if you
it's
would
at
take my other
disadvantage.
one. Yeah, so you would take my original
You
one.
will take the original.
I guess you roll the lowest one. Okay, so that's 2 hits.
Okay.
Here's my last attack.
That's unfortunate.
No.
21 again.
All hit.
All hit. So that's 6d6 fire damage on my boy. And even if he is resistant, he takes the full because
He is
I'm an
resistant.
elemental adept. So
Right.
I punch through
And I think all your
resistance.
ones are twos.
All my ones count as 2s. That's right.
Yeah, Jeff's really been studying your. I'm
I
really
know. My
impressed,
dude
Jeff.
is all about it.
Holy
Well,
shit!
good thing you
that's a-
didn't roll any
10.
ones that count as twos.
22 fire damage,
Ouch.
ignores resistance.
That did
Nice.
not make him happy.
And this is the finger gun spell.
Yeah, I like it.
And it turns its head towards you. Again, these sightless sockets kind of staring at you. It sees the blast coming towards you, and it's standing there as if it's not too concerned. But as the blast bore into its skin, I grabbed the mic.
That's all right. I do it all the time, too.
It does rear its head back like it's screaming, but no noise comes out.
Ooh, tight. I also hate it, but cool.
Yep. Okay, well that hurt, but it still was focused on you for its attack. So
The disc.
Yeah. You also need to make an intelligence check, because if you fail this check, it actually has advantage to attack you. Because you don't know where it's coming
I failed.
from. Okay.
Give me one of those.
Oh, that's much better.
That is much better. I have a +1 to intelligence.
So
Would you roll an 18?
19?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So it will roll normally against you.
Whew, thank you, Devin Utilitas.
Yeah, that one was Devin, right?
All right. The first disc cometh at you is an 11.
I can't read that.
Too bad. That'll miss, I assume,
See,
because you're
do
on
you
the
see
15.
the contrast here? Look at that.
Second one, unfortunately, is a 22.
Get younger eyes.
At any
man.
That
distance.
doesn't hit.
As I get older,
Really?
I'll have to get.
Wow, you just will it not to hit.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Jeff, I'm a warlock.
Okay,
to a
cool.
younger
You're a warlock,
generation.
I'm
whatever.
gonna have to roll big dice.
All right.
Oh, what's up? Thanks, Corey. This is
We gonna
Corey's.
need it. Thanks,
Oh,
buddy.
thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, nice.
Corey's,
Oh my
and this
God.
is your boys.
Daltimus.
Daltimus.
All right, so the disc will hit you for
Oh man, CD's fucked it up.
13 damage,
Yes, it is.
I'm
and give me a
still-
con save.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna bleed out from a CD.
Oh,
I got a 12.
A 12 is not enough.
my man got that Pearl Jam CD.
You take one more point of poison damage.
It's poison, and what's the other type of
You
damage?
look down and 10 is
It's
just
cutting
sitting in your arm.
or slashing.
Inside of it, like the Metallica.
So the
symbol,
disc,
got the, like,
as it flings its arm, it almost arcs as the disc goes flying through the air. One of them you duck out of the way, and it slices into the stone above your head and just kind of skitters around and starts coming back towards it, but you don't see where it's moving so fast.
That's pretty sweet.
The second one, as you kind of ducked over, the second one caught you kind of like on the clavicle and sliced across your shoulder.
I would like to Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah, you can do that. So, what's the range of Hellish Rebuke?
Wherever you are.
60 feet.
That's right. Wherever you want to be.
Oh yeah, you're definitely in range. Okay, so deck save.
Yes.
And you had the...
What's up? We got another one from Carapace.
18.
Thank you so
18.
much.
gonna need
Can
a
you re-roll
carapace.
that, please?
Sure.
Yeah,
One of those markers so we can remember who they are.
You failed.
Oh!
Okay, so that is...
Fire.
Yes,
That was-
it
who's
is
the
2d10
weakest
fire damage.
That was
just-
Daltimus.
Daltimus. So
Daltimus.
we have Corey's and Carapace left.
So we can give proper attribution.
Did you add the extra dice for your level? What's the base damage on it?
Oh, it's not a cantrip. So the base
I know.
damage is. Oh wait, I'm casting it at level 3 though because I'm a warlock.
Yeah, girl.
I think it's Hellish Rebuke is a second.
Second.
I forget. I think it starts a second at
Okay, so it's 3d10.
Is this from you as a warlock, or is it from your race?
It's from me as a warlock.
Okay, then yeah. This will use up your other slot.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
But would hex damage count too?
Does. Wait, no. No, I don't think Hex does.
No, I think it's only
It has
on
to be attacks. It does say
Yeah.
attacks.
Yeah.
So I think what is the base for? Is it 3d10?
Yeah.
So
Well, no,
it's-
it's 2d10. So with a third level will be 3d10.
Correct.
Get him.
Whoa!
Oh, good roll.
Well,
Good
He's
roll.
been rebuked.
Alright,
Hellishly.
She just sparks her fucking back as the disc hits her. You cry out, and just a sheet of flame flies out from you. And it comes at it and it tries to get out of the way, but it clips it across the shoulder, and you can smell the burning flesh from there. Definitely hurt it.
I went full on bent neck lady. Like I was like,
Lydia totally didn't
back
want to
and
watch
curse
this
yourself.
show, and now is so glad she did.
I'm not though
It's
because I'm
good.
still scared out of
it's
my
good.
mind.
But she does make me come to bed at 9 o'clock.
Dion's gonna
You coming to
look at his
bed?
quarterstaff and feel kind of useless now.
Yeah,
He's got,
Give me an
no.
intelligence check first.
That's true.
She can get you at 9 o'clock too.
No.
You don't know where you're confused about where it was.
I didn't.
It's technically so. This is what happens. So realistically, so it moved to there, attacked, and then it continued to move. It's now over here.
Oh, snap.
I'm not even going to worry about it. It can move 240 feet in a round.
Get
God.
wherever it wants to get.
I do need to make a con save for hex.
Concentration. Gotcha.
Right.
I got a 10. That's not
make
bad.
it.
Is it?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yep.
I'm gonna spin that to see if I can maybe find this sucker.
Okay.
Is that allowed? So. Get him. No, that's a single digit.
Okay, yeah. You're just kind of like you're looking where because it's technically in motion
Yeah.
right now.
Dude, roll Corey's.
All right. Corey, don't let me down, man.
No, it's you not letting him
Yeah,
down.
I was gonna say.
Apparently, this unlucky halfling literally just is going blind.
You got it.
What you got? 6.
Nope.
Oh man, you're
You haven't even
nice.
rolled a 1. Because remember, you can re-roll.
I know.
those.
It's the unlucky part.
That was the only one I could read too.
They were pretty much all 6s. I will spend a key point for patient defense and settle
excellent.
down to take the
You
dodge
can move.
action and kind of we're gonna move
You got what? 30-foot move.
30,
35.
40 at this point.
No, when he's halfling, so
I'm
he
a
starts.
halfling.
Right.
So we're gonna move 35 feet over towards the wall.
Okay, well that definitely is cover.
There's
Yeah.
another statue over there. Though.
You don't have to spend a key point if
It's actually back behind where he is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
If you want,
wanted
I
to
can just
spend
put dice where they are.
Yeah,
because I can't do anything else.
Alternatively, you can
And they have not
dodge,
responded.
or you can
Nope, they
dash
haven't
and
moved.
spend a key to dash.
Yeah, there's no point in dashing if
Jack,
I don't know where it is.
intelligence check.
Yeah, let's take a
I'm
look.
gonna go center of the room, then you can reach him wherever he goes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, see him
so
first.
now I can.
You can move and attack him if you can get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Bro, you're a
You're a rogue.
tabaxi.
And a rogue. You were the fastest.
Yeah.
You're not as fast as him, but you're the fastest.
That's true. Do it, my dude.
Do it.
It's a bonus
Smack him,
action
smack him.
to dash for you.
Or the tabaxi racial thing.
Yeah.
You just can't move the next round.
Right.
I think. Oh no, it only recharges if you don't move.
Yeah, if you
recharge.
don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, bonus
do-
action dash, you're there.
Well, bonus action. All right, we'll go for it.
Dion's sitting here waiting
Take him
with
on.
his stick
All right,
like
it's at
that.
disadvantage.
It is.
Is that because of
And you won't. There's no one
That's
attacking it, so you won't have sneak attack.
right? But I guess can you do sneak attack if you're at disadvantage? I feel like
No.
You can.
You can, but it's not going to trigger.
If you're disadvantaged, period.
Yeah, that's
Really?
what
I didn't
that's what
know
I'm
that.
reading there.
Oh.
Which is why when you said
Oh, I never noticed that.
that's why
It's one of those like one sentence buried in it.
But if somehow you can give yourself advantage, you can
Yeah.
offset it
Yeah.
if someone is adjacent
because
to
when
it,
you're
or you're
like-
hidden.
When you said you attack at disadvantage, I was like, snap! I can't even do my sneak attacks. But we'll try to stab them.
Right. So another option is there are some places that you could possibly hide around here. So if you hid, made your intelligence check, you could sneak attack with maybe even a ranged weapon or a melee weapon. But you can't do that now. But I'm just saying for future, that would
So,
offset that penalty.
Skirmisher, it lets me move half my speed as a reaction if an enemy ends its turn within 5 feet. That wouldn't apply here though because he's already done.
Correct.
Okay.
That's when you die.
Yeah, and I can't disengage. I can disengage as a bonus action, but not if I dash. So, as a bonus action,
Smack the shit out of him.
we'll just try to whack him.
Okay.
But I'll leave it to you guys. To
You got 2 attacks.
Yeah.
So
So
you've got the rapier.
Yeah. All right. All right. So.
Their AC is not great. It's just the disadvantage. And
Okay, good. So 4 plus 4, so it's just going to be... Oh, no, it's plus 7 to hit. So 11.
11
I'm going to
won't
get
hit.
it. And then-
both were 4s.
oh,
He's at disadvantage.
he's at disadvantage.
yeah.
That's what he's.
I'm just
So it's-
saying, what was the higher one?
6. They're both crap.
Yeah. Y'all just need to roll better. That's
I
all.
know, that's really what's holding us back.
If you guys could roll better,
So I've got
be better people.
the rapier and the daggers out so I can attack with the daggers. Well.
No, actually
No.
can't. It was a bonus action. That's
okay.
dash.
That's right.
That is a
Yep.
bonus action
Okay.
attack with
So
your
that's
offhand.
my-
That's it.
That's
But
right.
So a whole lot of nothing.
5th level, don't you get a?
Not rogues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
Don't forget you do have
You
uncanny
do.
dodge
Yeah.
though,
He does.
to mitigate damage too.
Yes.
So
Yes.
okay, so that's
good.
it.
Find him.
Malbrix.
Okay.
And, I'm hoping that he'll do some other stuff and then I can maneuver later.
Here's
on.
Malbrix's intelligence check. Just try to spot him. That would be 13.
Make it.
Tight. Malbrix, hoping beyond hope that this will work, is going to, instead of trying to hit him with Magic Ray, or Scorching Ray, sometimes we call him Magic
Sure,
Ray. Depends
sure.
on the day.
Never.
Going to try to hit him with Magic Missile.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Magic missile.
what did we decide about the damage? Rolling
We're
4
rolling,
separate?
We're rolling them
Separately.
separate. It's just way more fun. You know?
It's old school.
Handfuls of dice. are
I
not
always
bad.
prefer to roll more
Me
dice.
too.
Wow.
Dang.
Not bad. 13 damage.
Okay.
Do you want to borrow my dice, man?
You can see them and they
He
hit.
says as he loses a d4.
I don't
So
want. Oh
yeah,
god.
I have to get that.
Yeah.
so you're estimating where it is. The nice thing about the magic missile is it basically tracks them.
Yeah.
So you guys see the missiles going this way, then they just take an arc to the
Tight.
right and just slam into the creature's side. And again, it rears its head back like it's screaming, but nothing comes out.
All right, wish me luck. I'm
You gonna stay where you are?
I'm spelunking.
Raina.
Good luck.
Intelligence check to see it.
Intelligence check to see this d4.
I got a 12.
You succeed.
Yes.
12 is what you need.
Perfect.
Successful.
I am
say,
going
that's a death
to.
trap.
I'm gonna hit it with an Eldritch Blast now.
Okay.
Best shot.
Disadvantage.
Still at disadvantage.
If you
Yeah,
can't make
it's
the
all
intelligence check,
disadvantage.
you can't even target it.
2 and a 4.
Nope. Second one. Oh, disadvantage though. I love taking 20s.
What'd you roll?
A 20 and a 12.
But it's 12 plus 7.
Still a hit.
So it would
Yeah,
hit.
yeah, you
Okay.
hit.
And so that's
A
1.
14 has hit it so far.
Yeah, tight.
Okay, so that's a
Tracking that.
D10
see
and a
it first.
D6.
I know.
Yeah, right?
So 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 4.
Good. All right. It looks pretty ragged, actually.
From what you can see of it.
Yeah. I mean, you see that it's
see it?
like. I mean, you are tracking it. It is a bit of a blur, but I mean, you can see that it seems to be, and it's 10 feet tall. It's kind of like lurching, kind of lumbering down, and it doesn't take a large area. It's just really tall and lanky.
Oh, I forgot they're 10 feet tall. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they really spindly?
Yes. Yeah.
Slender man.
Like Slender
Their
Man?
arms
Oh,
are
right.
exceptionally long. Like the arms actually go
Or
down
the tall man.
Oh, yeah.
To
the
like
bowler.
knee.
below their knees.
Oh God.
Which gives their arms more of a rotation when
it's
they
from
when they
Haunted
fall.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever watch it.
Well now,
Megan and I
now we
watched
watch Kurt
It's
die.
good. Oh, we'll see.
Me and Kurt and Megan watched Hereditary, which
Yeah.
is far scarier than
It moves to
Hill
there. Does not draw attack of opportunity.
House. Dick.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's gonna attack you.
What?
Voo.
Yeah, the ones that have
Okay.
actually done damage to it. It's not concerned
So
about
you actually have made your check this round.
Yeah.
So it won't get advantage on you.
Cool.
I do like that this bat's just kind of like hovering there. So
That's just chilling.
just
Roll the 2.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I think I'm good there.
Yep. And a nat 20.
Nope.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yep.
Thank you. This one's Carapace. Thank you. It's our last one.
Damn it!
Try that again.
Stupid carapace.
Save
And a
your
7.
Let me think about that. My armor is a 14. I'll let it ride.
It's
Oh!
but not a crit. But not a crit. So give me a con save.
Carapace saved your carapace, sir.
Yes, he did.
Don't make dumb jokes.
Con save is a 12.
that'll be
Fail.
poor taste.
So you take 11 slashing
Okay.
and 6 poison.
Okay, that hurt.
Anything concentrating? I don't think you're concentrating
Nope.
anything.
Was not
Yep.
concentrating.
And then again, it continues to move.
He wasn't concentrating, which is how he got hit.
Yeah. All right. So, Dion.
All right, intelligence check to try and see the beastie.
Okay.
Oh my
No, it's
god.
brutal.
Why are you even?
It's like double brutal to fight this thing.
I'm gonna re-roll that with lucky.
Oh,
Damn!
I've like never seen that.
Love
trigger
it.
For
I love
halflings.
How does an 8 look?
You need a 12.
Wow.
Unfortunately, you
But at
can't.
least you got to re-roll that one.
I want
Yeah, that was-
I want to
that was cool.
inspire Sean for his luck
Now,
roll.
if just as kind of an option for people that have a hard time to aid someone, you don't have to be adjacent to the enemy, or do you?
You do.
You do. Okay.
To help. Yeah.
Okay. So that's not gonna help.
You gotta be kind of like, he's over here.
I'm inspired by your luck.
Oh, well,
so
thank you. It doesn't help me now, but
Jag. Unless you want to move.
Yeah.
I am going to dash to right behind this camp thing and kind of like take cover here
Okay. Sure.
and try and like keep my back up to it and try and eye the courtyard.
So intelligence check first.
Yep. How's a
You have +7.
for intelligence?
No,
I was gonna say no. How's a 6 look?
6 does
Not
not look
great.
good.
So I'll join you here.
Okay.
We'll kind of hang out behind this. We'll is that
So if you want to, remember you could always hide as a bonus action. As long as you can break line of sight, you could break line of sight behind this kind of
just
outbuilding.
hide out there?
And that way, if you do see it next time, you could attack it with potentially with sneak attack if he happens to be adjacent to it or someone does.
Yeah, these guys are just shooting at it. They're having success. We're not. I feel like if we...
I know. I'm just trying to give you some options.
Yeah, no, that's good. I feel like if we stick together though right now,
Sure.
then we can kind of utilize...
It seems to
something
want to
on
stay
that.
away from melee.
Yeah.
It seems to use its discs at range.
Yes.
All right.
To be very effective at those.
That works.
Okay, let's see if I can spot that bad boy. Nope. So because I can't, I'm going to cast Blur on myself.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. That's my turn. No, it's not. I got my winged boy. He is going to fly over adjacent to that dude and give the help action to...
Have him make an
Reyna.
intelligence check.
Oh, yeah. Nah, man. I gotta. How's a 0 look?
Does he have blind sight?
Yeah, those have blind sight.
What's the range?
60 feet.
Yeah, he can get next to him. Blind sight ignores his ability.
Tight.
damn.
Okay, well, there we go. He's just echolocating.
Yeah,
'Cause I did roll a
100%.
0. So just so we're clear there.
Yeah.
Welcome to
But the
my
echolocation
abode.
finds him immediately.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah,
So
it'll
he's
move
up.
adjacent and give Reyna the help action.
Nice.
Do I
Bats
get
don't
the
like
help
bats
action
do not
for
cook
my
off.
intelligence check?
Dude, come on.
No, for an attack.
Well, I couldn't just go.
Spent
There's
blur,
no, like,
so it'll
bat
have
sound.
disadvantage on
I'm sorry. I forgot. This space has been
Just
rolling
push
low
him
for you
aside.
so far.
So that's only an 11, which
we
isn't
get you-
gonna
we get
do
you a
it,
box
but I'm
to put it if you
gonna
want.
try.
Spend yours. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Shoot at 12.
No.
No, unfortunately, you can't see him, or you don't know where he is exactly. The bat is kind of fluttering over there, but it doesn't really help you locate him.
No, it's cool.
Pat's just like.
It's right fucking there.
You don't understand bat though, so it's lost on you.
He's
speak bat.
kind of ignoring the two of you. You don't see him, so it's really just roll between the two of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can roll.
So do you
I
need
like to
some
do that
space?
too. Make you pick.
What is that?
Is it? What is it?
It's a 2.
Is it you? Okay.
Who can tell?
All right. And you failed your intelligence check, correct?
Rolls clear dice on white paper.
Rubbing it in.
So it has advantage. to
Oh,
attack
what's
you.
up? We got another one from Carapace. Thank you
Wow.
so much.
Carapace.
So appreciated.
Thanks, man.
We even got
Save
Stop
Carapace
thwarting me.
right here. Carapace spot.
First one is going to be a 14 plus 7.
Yeah, Jeff.
I don't know what. Yeah, actually, you're out of spells. Yeah, I'm thinking of him because he has shield. That's why I say it.
Yep.
So that will hit you. Give me a con save.
Okay. 16 plus a bunch.
Okay, you make it. So you take 17 slashing damage
Seriously, though?
Said, wow.
Jeffrey.
and 2 poison.
So I take 19 damage total.
Yeah,
Can it be necrotic, though? Because
it cannot. Unfortunately,
That would be.
that was its first attack.
I said 19 damage, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Like, how sure?
Second one is going to be a 19.
Uh-oh.
Where you at?
Make a roll with the.
Good.
Do we need to do lid?
I have 5 hit points.
Oh, you're going to go down.
Oh my god, you're the only healer we got. Give it a shot. Let's see if Carapace can save your bacon.
Just someone baby bird me a healing potion.
You all have 2 healing potions each.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my god, no. Adios, lid.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, minimum
There's
damage
no
is going
point
to drop
rolling.
you.
Yep.
So again, arm starts spinning. Both the discs fly from different angles, and hit her.
You said the
One, I know. One hits her under the arm, and one hits her at the base of the neck. And blood, it cuts across her throat, and blood just spurts, and she spins and falls down.
That's
Yikes.
awful.
That sucks.
Actually, on you, the blood.
Yeah.
And the cat. Wait, is the cat still there or is it gone?
Cat just.
I guess it goes.
vanishes.
Does it go?
Cat saves. It's not concentrated.
So the cat's covered in blood too?
Yeah.
It's
Sure. It
bloody
doesn't
little
lie.
kitten.
Cats have a pretty good ability of staying clean, so surprisingly, no.
Turns out. Just a bonus action.
Yeah.
Move
its
it
owner's
back to
blood
the
off
move it back to the base of the stairs. It's just somewhere on the base of the stairs. Yep. As it continues to move. Damn.
Alright, this is gonna
Intelligence.
happen. This is gonna happen.
I have faith in you.
You
I
can
have
do
no
it.
faith.
Get him.
Yes.
Oh, finally!
Charge him.
And I don't even have to like dash at his ass either.
Nope.
You can just dash
Alright.
at his front.
That's usually better. I mean, but it's your choice. I mean,
Halflings are always catching. Halflings are always
I
catching.
have
up
an
with you.
eerie sense of
I swear, when Eric when he was running last night, I was catching all his dumb jokes.
I know. It was good.
Alright.
Like attack the camp.
Yeah. Come on, man.
So we're gonna move on into him.
Okay.
Run on in, and we're gonna make our first attack with the quarterstaff.
All right. Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
idea.
I have no idea.
A
what those
3 and
That's a
pyramid.
black holes.
a 5.
An onk
5 plus
and-
8. So
They weigh 12 pounds.
An eldritch
each, so
symbol and the space.
what is a
Infinity.
What does a 13 get me?
A 13 gets you a miss. my friend.
Miss.
you might as well just pull out a bag of bones and be like,
Yeah.
All right. He'll suck. Second attack with the quarterstaff again.
Well, that's from Kurt. You do have a reroll.
Oh, you gave it to him?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll spin the reroll on that first one.
See if you can't be luckier this time.
So 16 plus 8.
That'll hit.
All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so 1d6 plus 5.
Nice.
Whole lot of damage here. So 6 plus
Jesus.
11 damage.
Okay.
How do you
How you feeling?
kill it?
How do you feel? I feel fine. Thank you.
All right. Fine.
Feeling?
So that's no longer here. Second one with the quarterstaff. All right, so twin 14s plus 8.
That'll hit.
That'll hit. What is this? 4 plus 5, so 9 more damage.
And this is with your magic staff?
Yeah. Well,
Magic.
plus 1 staff, yeah.
Magic staff. How
Yeah.
do you do it? You guys put a ton of damage on that. I don't even feel that way.
I think he straight up Rafiki's him, just smack in the head as he's been waiting for him, like kind of blushly, and just dunk.
Nice.
Okay.
Lion King.
Takes him.
All right, well, you probably hit him in kind of. He doesn't bend over like he was like out of air, but the force.
I guess I
of
can't reach the head, can I?
But the force of you hitting him actually kind of
tight.
bends the body enough that you spin around with the staff and hit him in the back of the head, and you do hear bone crunching. In fact, as you hit him and he falls down, you see that flap of skin fly up, and you just see these rows and rows and rows of teeth. They're not like large teeth, but they're tiny teeth. But it looks like they could chew through, I don't know, bone or brain or whatever.
The walls are...
Yeah, good.
But and it just falls down, and again, as it lays in its position, it's unmoving. It looks like a statue laying in the ground where you destroyed it. Burn marks on it, holes in it from your blasts.
Sweet.
Nice. Man.
Are we out of initiative?
We are out of initiative.
Sweet. So does it turn to stone, or it just it's
looks like
unmoving?
it's just unmoving. It just even dead. It looks like a statue until you're right up on top and actually touching it.
I would baby bird a healing potion down her throat.
You just make. Not that it matters. Well, it actually doesn't. But she's right next to you.
By initiative,
She's
I
next
think
to you.
I could
you're
get there
good.
on my
okay,
turn.
go ahead.
So.
I'll make you roll.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So here you go. Here's yours lid.
I forgot you were down, so technically we would have stayed initiative while you did that.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, you got 9.
You're at 9 hit points.
Back. Well, that was something.
I go ethereal because fuck this.
Start shampooing.
Before we go in the keep proper, I'd like to take a breather.
I think that would be wise. Yeah.
100%.
I would love that.
Yeah.
This warlock would love
You get
that.
your spells back. You didn't spend any key
Burning
points,
some hit
did you?
dice here.
You didn't spend
Why
key
are you
points.
doing that?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You guys didn't get it.
Yeah, for the team that did nothing but run up to a fountain. Well, you ultimately took him out, but +1. So,
Eventually, yeah.
yeah, they loosened it up for you, and then popped the top.
I had one more attack too. I could have gotten him.
I spent all but
Stun it,
one
too.
of my hit points.
I
to
had
get back.
the Kinsey shot with the extra D4.
Oh, I
on
didn't
the
realize you were
action.
Kinsey, dude. Kinsey's so good.
Yeah.
I love Kinsey.
Wave
Yeah,
the
I
quarterstaff.
can't do
Okay, I get 3 levels of spell slots back, right?
Correct, you round up.
I'm gonna take, 1/1 and 1/2.
A lot less to do during
I
this.
rolled,
Yeah, right. When you didn't get hit at all, or you didn't do anything. Yeah.
I rolled really hot on my on my hit dice. So I have that going.
Not me,
for
I spent 4.
All right, just track it.
Cool.
All right. Well, you have slain a lesser shard.
Wow, cool.
Should be fine.
One. You slew one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, should be fine.
Feeling
Yeah.
up for...
We only used every reroll we had access to and lost a party member on
nasty.
the way.
Yeah, but
Well,
now we got practice, so...
let's head into the keep.
I will tell you the fact that you figured that out before you encountered him,
Yeah.
being able to identify exactly what it was, and kind of getting the jump on it and positioning
yeah.
yourselves, that was pretty key. But what I was going to do is, during the fight, I was going to let you try to recall the note
Cool.
as you were seeing to maybe give you some insights on how to
Yeah,
do
we
it.
would have been dead.
Remember how I walked in and attacked it though? Y'all won't.
Let's proceed. Check the doors.
The
Deal.
doors to the keep.
Would you like the honors?
It worked out okay last time.
I'll adjust the camera.
Last time I took the lead, for most of us, it worked out all right. So I think instead of reaching up to any door handle or door ring, he'd kind of stick his quarterstaff in it and try and open it that way.
Yeah,
So,
I don't mind stealthing in and kind of
Same.
hanging.
Your dead guy, he's still out here.
No, I was actually looking for another figure that I didn't bring with me.
Because
Do
I've
we-
got dark vision. I'll be
Need
able to
something?
see.
Just like a wizardy type.
Why though?
yeah.
Just in
Yeah, I
case.
don't know what
So on the wagons, there's 3 sets of handles. Do we think that each handle held 1, or do we think that 2 handles held 1?
Give me an intelligence check, because you're the only one who actually saw it.
Here, I got Broderick handy.
Nope.
That work?
Yeah.
There's 12 in each wagon.
Yeah, you think they're 6 times 60.
Sweet baby Broderick. Right again.
Coming back to help us.
Yep.
Totally helping
There's
us.
going to be some
Can we
long-winded stories.
before we go in? Can we take a look at the ones that
We're killed? Yeah.
and they
they
just
were.
they just looked similar to the one that was already
Yeah,
dead?
they look
Okay.
exactly like it.
Okay.
Nothing in their eye sockets.
I wanna see if I can identify like what that smell was though. Like
You, as you get closer, you can see this one has it too. It's the poison
it's the poison.
on the discs. And you realize, and now that you guys kind of look around and you realize what the discs are, you can see them embedded in the walls in different parts of the keep. You guys never made the rolls to notice it before this.
So are they just like super sharp?
They're like
You tell
razor
us.
sharp. Like you can go up to them, and there's some that don't have the
Okay.
poison on them anymore. A couple of them that hit you or that it flung around it. There's still a viscous fluid on them. But you know, if you do one of these on it, you'll cut your finger. If you do one of these, you almost cut your finger.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it shaves some of the cells of your epidermis off just by running along there, and it's sticking in stone.
Okay.
So they were obviously doing a ton of damage to you too.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, and again, but you do see some of the figures in here had like holes in their body. Some of them, like the top of their body, was gone
Yeah.
completely.
We should proceed.
I attempt to open
Yeah,
the
we'll
door.
walk up to the door.
Okay.
Would you like my
Is an actual door there?
Yeah.
though, or okay.
Yeah.
There's no reason to scout it out now. They've heard us.
That's fine.
And the cat comes too. Here comes
Bat is definitely coming.
Bat
yeah.
Facts.
Castle.
TrueBatFacts.com.
Castleneck batfacts.net
Org.
Castlemat Batfaxer.
.edu.
Batfax. Where we fax the bat.
Okay. Well, the doors are closed. You assume they can be secured from the inside.
Might as well give it a push.
Knock on the door.
Doesn't move.
Can I target
What about
it
if we
with,
pull it?
with Eldritch Blast?
That doesn't work.
Push. Try pull.
Oh shit! It opens right up.
Can
They'll
I,
fall back down the stairs.
Pours out.
can I try to use an Eldritch Blast on it to use force damage to open it?
You think that would take a while?
Okay.
Yeah.
Any locking mechanisms, or do we think it's barred?
You figure it's barred, but if you have,
What about one of those blades?
thieves' tools,
Yeah, I got some thieves.
you might be able to.
I have Mage Hand. I'm gonna grab one of those blades and try to
That's cool.
Hey, you know what? I have Mage Hand too, and if I see you do it, I would help.
Yeah, we could double Mage Hand and try to push one of the
You
things.
got to get them out of the stone.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
What about one of the ones that hit us?
Yeah, there's
Is
someone.
there
One
in
in
stone?
her?
Yeah.
No, it kept going.
Okay.
Everything's in
Yeah.
stone.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I like that.
Oh, I do like it.
Can you push it out through the stone?
You
and
can,
back
yeah, you
in
can
the
push it
door?
on. Your hand slices
No,
it
I
off.
mean mage hand it out.
It doesn't
of the
push
castle
that. The
and
mage
back
doesn't
in.
hand. If you had telekinesis, 100% you could
Okay,
do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But you don't.
no,
So
I
you can
tried.
try thieves' tools.
Jack,
Yeah, what
this
do
is
I-
your
what do I roll
special-
for?
Basically, it's going to be your dex plus your proficiency bonus, so +6 probably.
Okay. Just,
Yeah, no problem.
22.
Yep. Yeah, he's just got kind of like a Jimmy for a car almost. Gets it in there, kind
Slim
of.
Jim. Just
Yeah, a Slim Jim's the door open, and apparently there is on the other side. It's kind of one of those. Like a mechanism where the bar goes across,
Right.
Yeah.
and you manage to get kind of like this almost like wire-like tool in there, and you've got like get open just enough, and there's like maybe a mirror underneath, and but you do manage
Cat claw
the door.
in there.
Yeah, and the door does open. If you could just put these guys in there, so put him like 10 feet from the back wall.
The
Strahd
door's like
style
open all the
for-
way, or is it just
Yeah.
cracked a little bit?
No, it will open.
You could have done
put-
this when we were in
Pick one of him.
Another one of these boys.
Actually, turn his back to the door, and he's facing that.
Yeah.
Oh, like they're talking?
That's right.
And there are
the
two
shit
others,
Oh shit!
one on either side of him.
Seriously?
So that's
Oh
fun.
my god, Jeff.
No, on the side of the creature.
Sean's
So-
like staring in that corner there.
As you open the door, you see two of the ones that you fought already, flanking it. The one in the back
The ones we fought are
has the same kind of visage as all the others, except it has looks like ambers for its
Oh.
eyes.
Okay.
Y'all know anything about this? There's amber eyes.
Before we enter this encounter, can we take a actual short break as Castle Mac so I can...
Yeah,
Absolutely.
BRB.
Yep.
This is...
It's Maclore 1997, y'all. Actual effects.
Yeah,
That's
they're
just
coming.
placeholder footage for the actual effects, which are definitely coming.
Absolutely. By the time you watch this,
Probably soon.
we'll be on. So
Yeah, we're good to go.
no worries.
Hey, today we're talking about
House rules.
Yes.
Castle Mac house rules. Some of you have asked, and other people seem to have questions that some of these might actually be able to help with. They've definitely helped us since we implemented them.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? We've got a couple that we'll cover, but not many. We tend to be pretty thoughtful about our house rules. We don't, I think we respect rules as written. We want to play the game close to the way it's intended. I know that, right, the paradigm is, hey, it's your game, do whatever you want at your table. And I respect and love that, and I think we do. But also, you can just have some unforeseen consequences when you
Put
start limiting.
limits on. Typically, when we change something to benefit, there is a limit to it.
Right,
So it's almost a limited amount. I think the two things we'll talk about first are potions and short rests.
Yeah. Why don't you take it away? Which one do you want to start with?
Short rest, because that's probably maybe
Okay.
the largest
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
So short rest are with us about 3 to 5 minutes. It's enough time
Yes.
to catch your breath, to bandage yourself, but we limit them to 2 per long rest.
Right.
So there's not, I'm going to take another short rest, going to take another short rest. Right. That's it.
Yeah, it's great. We were sort of stressed out by some of the short rest based classes, right? Fighters, warlocks, they sort of have there's almost this push to, after every fight, be like, hey, can we take a short rest? But, short rests were an hour. So a dungeon that might take 30 minutes of in-game time, throw in 2 rests, it's only 2.5 hours to clear this small dungeon. It didn't jive, right? It just didn't feel right.
And there's levels where it's difficult for every time to try to figure out how narratively an hour would take place.
Yeah.
Right. And given, I think those questions are still things you have to work out, and it's very easily, you can still make them like, nah, y'all can't. You're still pressed. I still think the same mechanic can work.
Right. Yeah, it 100% can. And I think by limiting it to 2, it's now a finite resource that the party has to essentially call upon when they're ready. You sort of have it's now a bit of a gamble.
The hit dice are still used.
Right.
Everything else is still used up. So
Right.
it's not.
Because hypothetically, you could just short rest your way after every room. I mean, yeah, it might take you 3 days to clear a dungeon. It's 20 rooms or something, but there's nothing to stop you from short resting. And in some ways, that's the way old school D&D was, right? We go in, we poke around. Okay, all right, let's go back out and camp at the entrance, but whatever. So it's worked for us. I think narratively, it's
We like it.
really cool.
It's something. It's something if you want to try. The other is potions. So potions we allow to. You can drink them on a bonus action. If you want to kind of feed them to somebody else who may be down, that's still an action to try to kind of make it in and bring them back up.
Yeah.
However, the same one have to choose to drink a healing potion or an action. I mean, it's a tough choice. Again, what we've done though is can't buy 15 healing potions.
Yeah, we make them pretty limited. Players can't show up and buy a bag full.
No.
Typically, narratively, there's always a sort of governor on it. Typically, characters can walk around with 2 going into a dungeon. If they find more and conserve them, great, that's totally fine. But rarely are we letting anyone walk into a dungeon, spending every bonus action on a healing potion. And we wouldn't have that limit, I think, if they were an action necessarily, because you're giving up a whole action. Both of those rules we've been using for months now, probably 6 months. The potions even longer. The potions we've been doing that for like 2 years, and it's worked spectacularly. I really, really like it.
It's only been beneficial changes. So I haven't had any complaints. It certainly hasn't broken anything that we've played or any of the larger mechanics.
No, they really haven't. Of course, our other house rule that you see all the time is our player-given inspiration. That, in many ways, I introduced that because I, as a DM, am just bad about remembering. I kind of get wrapped up when someone's role-playing. I'm like, I'm loving this, and I just don't even often think, I should reward that. So now the players can reward each other. It's not always used appropriately. It can be like, you're about to fight? Okay, well, I'm going to come up with a quick reason to
It's
give
used
this.
strategically a lot, but that's not to say there are times when it is a chance for... And it's a nice break where when somebody does give it to somebody else, typically the rest of the group be like, I also love that. So it's a way for you to honestly help each other out and reward each other for things that you genuinely think.
Yeah, and on the topic of inspiration, another house rule of ours is we just let it be spent after the fact to re-roll a die. By the rules, you're supposed to spend it ahead to get advantage on something, which is fine, but it just works really well, I think, rolling, kind of a re-roll after the fact. I don't know. I think that works the best.
Oh, are you filming?
Yeah.
Oh.
100%. It's really a professional approach too. Like this is
obviously.
I mean, you guys saw the special effects at the beginning that we're adding in. So.
Clearly. We also, it's not actually a spoken part of the rule. We don't allow multiple inspiration rolls to be used quite frequently.
Yeah.
I think we typically only have like 2.
What do you mean?
Well, like you can't. I mean, say you have.
Because our divine inspiration.
But you can't be like, I'm gonna roll that a 5th time. I'm gonna roll that a 6th time.
Right.
There is kind of a limit at like 2 rerolls, unless you have maybe luck or something where you could continue to use that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, given that it's a reroll, it's kind of like, well, that was.
Yeah.
That was that.
It. That was your second
So
shot.
again, it's another way that we kind of limit it. Either way.
And again, that's worked really well. That's been fun. It's not always used in a manner that you might, but whatever.
But that's
fun.
okay too.
Yeah, who cares?
You want your friends to survive, and you want to do well. And as a DM, we typically are planning on somebody using an inspiration reroll.
Right.
So I have probably built in the fact that if I've done it well, you're gonna need to use them.
And for all these things, we're like, cool. You guys get divine rerolls or whatever. I'm gonna crank up the difficulty a little bit. So we've got levers that we can pull to balance it out. The only other house rule that's coming to mind right now is the way I treat mounted combat, which is...
I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, mounted combat rules as written is pretty... It's kind of all over the place.
It's weird.
And there was an article, or actually there was a video, I think that Jeremy Crawford did, and I frankly just don't like the way it worked out. The way it's supposed to work is intelligent mounts are supposed to have their own initiative, but that just gets to be kind of a pain, and it can be painful especially for characters like Wayland in our Strahd game, who is this, he's trained all his life to be a mounted, cavalryman, and he's got this horse that's trained, and it felt weird to have the horse be intelligent, so it acts on its own, or completely unintelligent, so it doesn't. So really, here's the way we do it. If you are mounted, your horse will act on your initiative, but you must declare whether it acts before you or after you, and it has to complete its entire turn before you do. So that means your horse can't ride up, you make an attack, and then your horse ride off. Now, there are ways around that, which we can talk about in a second.
It also stays. Decision in the beginning of that choice is the remainder of that combat.
Right, you don't get to switch it up. Every time you roll initiative, you make that decision then and there and stick with it. So the only other change I have is I do make the distinction between an intelligent and an unintelligent mount, except it's more like a trained mount and an untrained mount. But intelligent, I think, would functionally be the same thing. So a trained or intelligent mount, the only difference is it can take the attack action. So on its turn, it could move up and attack, and now it's your turn mounted.
And I did this just because, again, the initiative order being what it is, if you're riding on an intelligent mount, just weird stuff can happen that don't feel real, right? It kind of hurts the verisimilitude of it. And so now, let's say hypothetically, I'm a knight, I've got a lance, and I want to ride my horse past the enemy and attack the enemy as I ride past. Okay? Here's one way you might do that. My horse is going to go after me. On my turn, I am going to hold my action to attack as soon as I'm adjacent to this guy. Now my horse on its turn moves up, gets adjacent. I now get to make my attack.
It's triggered the action.
It's triggered my held action, and now the horse rides off. It sounds complicated, but I think it's much less complicated than it is if you play it rules as written. And it's worked swimmingly for us we did that probably 18 months ago. So, I think that's it. Any other house rules that we can think of?
Not that I can think of, no.
All right, great. We're going to go ahead and roll the credits here. There's Andrew gets credited right there, as you can see. We'll see you next time on Mac Lore 1997, y'all. Hey, y'all. Thank you for sticking it out with us for this episode. This is something we're trying out. We're going to have some videos to play during the breaks, where we are going to discuss some Castle Mac lore. We make a lot of references to it in our former games, and we've had a lot of people kind of ask us for a little bit of context, so.
Thank you.
Oh, we gotta wait for the shields to flip.
Oh, the shield. Yeah, we gotta bake in that additional time. I forgot about now.
So
shield flips are new. Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, those are awesome. I do love them.
They're cool.
Yeah.
So our adventurers have sought out the fort that was taken over by the Theocratic Union, found, not unexpectedly, everyone slain inside. The wizard you still had not found.
Not everyone slain. There was still that bad.
There were 3 of these creatures that they had researched called the Shards, which are, again, they still don't even know other than that they were created somehow. Lifelike when they're not moving, no matter what position they are, even in death. They did manage to... a little bit difficult. There was a little bit of a loss. I'm not sure what happened. You know, maybe you fell unconscious, almost dead. But
I don't know, Jeff. I don't remember. Let's move on.
We weren't really worried
Did it
about
happen downstairs? Like
on the way down.
Oh my god!
All right, let's go fight this dude. I'm ready.
So, as you open the door, you look in, and you see you had a description of Hyphos. 100%. That is him. The robes, the hair, the height, the disposition.
The ugly face.
You actually don't see his face.
We can assume
ugly butt.
from
Yeah.
You do see that, again, he is facing these 3 shards. All of them the same size.
Sorry.
The one in the middle has 2 ambers, where it's the eye sockets, where the empty eye sockets of the other ones are. As you step in, he seems to be conversing with the one with the eye sockets. He just kind of turns back and just smiles, almost like childlike. And as he turns around, you see that he is wearing a circlet, and he also has an amber gem in the circlet.
Get it.
That.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"Welcome. I have controlled one of the great shards, Sharby."
Sharpie.
Yeah, not Sharty. Sorry, Sharty.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
And you see the creature standing behind, kind of towering over him, and it's just kind of looking down, and it almost bristles at that. He's like, "Oh, we could easily win this war now. I just have to find the rest. We can control them. We can lay siege to keeps. Oh, it's wonderful. Bounders. Oh, please come in. Please come in." And again, the other 2 creatures, they're just standing there. They look like statues. They haven't even moved a bit. What are your names? Does not seem to be too in touch with reality right now.
Yeah.
Before I answer what my name is, when we walked in and heard them conversing, were they speaking common?
They weren't talking. He just looked like they were talking.
Oh, okay. They were just looking at each other. Okay.
They were he was like, his arms were moving, but he wasn't saying anything.
Okay. Fuck it. I mean, let's just all get up and.
Yeah, well,
I
at
guess
least
we're-
roll in.
Yeah.
He's
Hyphos,
not trying to.
why, if you can control them, has everybody perished?
Oh, well, all experiments. Trial and error. Unfortunately, I have to break some eggs, right? But now I can control them. It is unfortunate for those legionnaires, but how many lives will I save now that I can control them?
Well, but how many lives do you know? How many were lost?
Yes, I do. 242.
And are you positive you can control them forever?
Oh, of course.
They will never become more powerful than you. You can...
With this circlet, I easily control them.
That is a wonderful, powerful artifact. Did you craft it yourself?
No, of course not.
You discovered it?
Yes, in my research.
How fortunate.
Yes. What can I help you with?
How... If you found that in your research, then you know how these beasts got here to start with.
Oh, yes, I brought them here.
You did.
Yes.
You created them.
No, I did not create them. Don't be silly.
Where did you find them? I thought they were long.
I did not technically find them, but I found out about them. They had been sitting in a warehouse in the sky city of Tyrannus for years.
Warehouse?
It's like poor planning.
Do they not need to eat?
Oh, no, they're constructs.
Interesting. I am very interested. Of course, we are bounders doing the Emperor's work here.
Are you here to escort me back to Jerissa?
Something like that. Yes.
Heroes welcome, of course.
Something like that. Yeah.
Let's call it that.
So there were 6.
There are always 6 in an islat. You're like,
of
you
course.
have no idea what he's talking about.
Right.
No. An islet.
Yes, it's how they are. They are organized in 6s.
Does the circlet only allow you to control 6?
So far, but I think it could control
do
more. I believe so.
Very
Even if I can't,
interesting.
I control Shati, and he controls the others.
That is
And
interesting
again, it's
indeed.
not moving, but it shimmers for a second.
Like it looks mad.
Yeah.
Yes, not pleased.
Do they? They don't have mouths, right?
They do have mouths.
have
They're
flap.
covered.
Oh.
They got
The
a flap
skin
over
that
the
kind of covers
mouth.
their mouths.
How long have you been controlling Shao-Ti?
Oh, just once I performed the ritual and the proper sacrifices were made.
Yeah.
We'd like to assess the risks on behalf of the bounders. If you were to perish, does the control end? Would someone have to take up the mantle? Just for the trek back, we want to make sure that we're prepared
That's
for...
an excellent question. We should talk about that on our way. Are you ready?
I suppose we are.
Would we be
Are we ready?
traveling in a wagon or?
No, I do not think that he just looks. No. Shati does not approve of the wagon. You know.
Maybe
What do you think, Dion? Are we ready?
Maybe Shati waits here.
Why? I need to show this. Show it off to the other wizards. They'll be so jealous.
If we lock them in this room and the mind control is broken after a certain distance, they would at least be safe in.
There is no distance.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm very sure.
How do you know?
My research.
And who has written about this?
Oh, many lore masters over the time.
If it's all the same with
Tienin
all
mostly,
of you,
but he was slain by a shard. But it was Sharbu who slayed him, so he's the lord of the shards.
if it's all the same, I think I'd like to cast a spell of protection before we leave. Are you okay with this?
Of course.
Are you prepared?
I'm prepared.
Fireball.
Love it.
I'm gonna have him roll an insight check.
Yeah, okay.
And he's not. I mean, he's kind of. I'm actually having him roll a disadvantage because
Yeah.
he does not think you're.
All right.
He thinks we're gonna escort him back and shoot
Nope.
him up.
Rolled a 1 and a 20.
Oh, cast an like.
He's like, as you start to cast, he looks away from you.
He sneezes.
He looks back and he seems to be conversing with Sharti.
Okay.
Oh God.
So deck save for him.
Yep. Y'all ready?
Oh!
Not bad.
He actually saved. I assume a 17 will save.
Yes. 34 damage. In fact.
Okay.
Resistance is punched through.
Okay. You blast him and he squeals in pain. The other The other shards take the blast, and it does harm them. They don't move.
Tight.
And he's like, what are you doing? Destroy them! And as he does, you see the gem flash in Sharti's eyes. Doesn't move.
Tight.
He just stands there. And you see the other shard, they quiver for a second, then they stop. He's like, what are you doing? Destroy them!
Sweet.
Nice mind
So we're going to do initiative.
Cool.
All right,
Sorry,
that's
Jeff,
something I
enough
can crit. All right, you can confirm this, right?
That
If
is
you can
nice.
move,
Yeah, I
then
can
I can
move those.
try
Just making
again.
sure someone.
Like, is this far enough?
Can you
over?
just go home and so I can roll?
Sit at a different
You're really.
Oh, what's up?
He's in your way. What'd you get?
Carapace just hooked up with 2 more.
What?
We're gonna need it. So
He's really concerned that we are
Wow.
not going to do it.
I have to say, the people who watch these streams are just amazingly generous.
I know.
Yes,
It really
totally.
is incredible.
It blows
Yes.
my mind.
constantly blows us
Yes.
Raina.
Your initiative.
Yeah, I know. I was.
Yeah, she's thinking about the generosity of
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I got a 19.
19?
A dirty 19.
That's pretty good. It's not a 21.
No,
I
it's
know.
not, Jeff.
I know it's not.
Thank
I know
you
it's
for
not. Jag?
showing me basic arithmetic.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I actually have it at 22.
22. Look at you.
Well, that's quite
A little bit better
cute
than
of you,
mine.
but 24.
Oh,
what a dick.
shit.
All of those are great, but I got a dirty 8.
Wow.
It's even better that you rhymed it, my friend.
Yeah, man.
All right. Dion. you
Oh,
are
what's up? Easy, my dude. Easy hooked up to Mo.
Oh, thank you,
shit.
Chancellor.
Thank you, Chancellor.
Chancellor
So, do I get any of those?
Starfleet Command.
If Andrew wasn't able to use mine,
Not a single
bastard.
mystery.
Sorry, no.
All right.
All right,
Dion,
so we got Carapace, Chancellor. Don't forget about those.
you're up, Dion.
all right. Well, Dion attempting his best knockout strike to not kill him as per orders.
You actually don't even have to declare it until after you attack.
Yeah.
Well, either way, Dion is trying his hardest to not fuck this up royally and accidentally kill him in an unlucky manner.
Yeah, that's...
He's gonna run up here with his with his little feet and his quarterstaff.
All right.
We are going to attack him. So first attack coming on in.
Right, those.
So +8,
So
22.
A shield does come up, but it still hits him.
Tight.
Cool. And then so 10 damage.
Okay.
And then second attack. You've been good so far.
Ooh. I could read that one.
So
This must be
15 plus
someone
8.
else's dice.
Hits. Even with a shield up, it still hits.
And then 9 more damage.
How do you do it?
Guy.
I think in just the most efficient way possible, sweeps the leg and then just cracks
Knocks
down
him
on his
out.
head again.
He's
Yep.
unconscious.
Style.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Now, how do the beasts react?
They don't do anything.
They'll stand
They're
there.
just standing there.
That's good.
And you see Sharti just kind of shimmering.
There's a big heavy door that locks, right?
I mean,
I do.
it didn't.
But they can...
Castle
they can
walls
Punch
didn't
right
stop
through those
them.
walls.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Are we still on initiative?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep going. Initiative.
So
Let me just
I
roll
guess
for.
as a bonus action, I think I would drink my potion of invulnerability right now,
Okay.
and then I guess attempt to question Sharti. If I were to destroy this, what happens to you?
You cannot destroy it. You can give it to me, though.
If I give it to you,
I will leave and go home.
Didn't say he'd leave us alive before he went home.
I cannot touch the circlet, wrap it in cloth, or put it in a sack. Give it to me. Lay it at my feet. And you can just hear just barely contain rage in his voice.
In the readings, did we get that they were outright evil, or I mean, when they killed all those soldiers, did it?
It didn't. They just did it. I mean, there was no.
We don't know the motive.
Yeah, you didn't really get a context in terms of like motivation or if they were. The only thing is that Sharbu definitely had a grin on his face while he was doing it.
Okay.
This is not Sharbu.
It's just sure.
By description alone, it is not, and by declaration from Hyphos.
What color were Sharbu's eye socket hole gems?
They were clear.
Clear? Mm-hmm. And these are amber.
Mm-hmm. You did get indication that there were others. You just don't know what they are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Other types.
Yeah.
I think we should destroy them.
I do not think we have that ability.
Take the circlet from his head.
I'll take the circlet.
Okay.
I think he would be looking at it, considering putting it on.
Okay. Yeah.
I think.
You don't have to. You can feel magic coursing through it.
But I think he'll sort of be like, take a bag out and wrap it, hold it up. If I give you this, you let the four of us leave in peace. Don't harm us.
I will leave.
You're being vague. You'll leave and you won't harm us, right?
I will leave.
I thought you might say that. Are you unable to move right now?
Only by choice. Give me an insight check at disadvantage because he is
Alien, basically. We got a insight. Is insight wisdom? Yeah, insight's wisdom. So I got a 16.
Yeah. Again, he's kind of hard to read. But the fact that he hasn't moved kind of makes you think that it looks like he's trying to, though. Like he's fighting against something.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you need more room?
Yes. Actually.
I don't
Like a whole
trust
other
it.
table?
They seem incapable of moving. I hit them with a pretty strong blast, and they just stood. Look at them shaking, quivering in rage. They're being vague.
The other two looked much more damaged than he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think you could control it if you put it on? I will move over for you.
No.
Oh my
I-
goodness. Keep
Jesus.
on kicking.
Das boot over here?
It's just my foot. It's like 4 sizes.
I have the same. Well, I sit there and Andrew sits there. I always make him scooch over.
What should we do?
If you think you could control it, you could have him take out the other two. Maybe off himself.
Now, Jack, he didn't seem to like being controlled in the first place.
No, and
Of course he doesn't like it.
I
That doesn't
don't-
make him good.
I don't like being killed on his way out the door.
Are you hearing this, creature? Are you going to kill us on your way out the door?
He doesn't say anything.
Is it my turn yet?
You guys are out of initiative.
Oh.
Unless you
What do
do
you
something.
think we do, Reyna?
I say that we have to kill them.
I concur.
What scenario would make you think anything different should happen?
Killing a helpless being that cannot even move.
This is not a helpless being. This is a creation.
It was being controlled by, obviously.
That doesn't make them good. Just because it was enslaved by this ability doesn't mean it was a good creature.
You use
Also
magic
doesn't mean
to.
it was an evil creature.
You use magic to hold beasts.
There are two sides to every coin.
Okay, I'm attacking it.
Okay. Well, the scene stops as we kind of pan up. All of you move into combat, and there are flashes, and there are screams. And then, a little bit farther away, you see 3 fast-moving objects moving away from the keep. You're all dead.
Tight!
Yes!
I like it.
Perfect!
Okay, that's good.
Well, that solves that.
Well, it was.
You might have been able to deal with the 2 of them.
Yeah.
You cannot deal with him. You cannot.
What was the exit strategy? Using the thing to control him?
That is one option, but it's not
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Or they were literally giving him the thing, and he would have just left.
Yeah. Well,
But he was not going to be cowed
Yeah.
You know, you were like,
no, I like it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Dion
man.
tried to tell you guys, but no.
No, you were like, maybe they're good. You didn't try to tell us shit, man. You were like, maybe they're our boys. We don't know. Nah, dude, they're alien. They're incapable of understanding our morality.
Homie, they have little razor discs in their
My
arms.
man, I tried to tell you, maybe they're good. Homie, those were built for evil. They got razor blade arms. They were built for whatever they had. They got the windmill arms.
Listen, in D&D, when
Lumberjack
you come across
constructs.
any creature with amber eyes and razor bones, they're just not your
My
friend.
girl, right. My dude's arms were not made for hugging.
You don't know that. Those are some fast times, man.
A bunch of people at once. though.
Yeah.
I guess I
They'll
could chop
hug
you
you.
up and give you hugs.
Cut you right in half.
Yeah,
Right.
one good hug, and that's all you get.
Tried to tell you, man. We didn't have to
You
attack
didn't
them.
try to tell shit.
Jeffrey, thank you for coming over tonight
Yeah,
and killing us.
that's
I
right.
just
Yeah, I was ready. I was
Not
ready
even
to
letting
die.
us roll for that. That's
I was ready to die.
No,
a good
it
one.
was pointless.
yeah.
I like it.
That combat would have ended so quick.
I like the idea of the flashes, and then they.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's good.
They reminded me of those little
that.
razor blade fucks from Volo's guide. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
Quicklings.
Oh,
You remember Quicklings?
dude, I had to tone those motherfuckers down. To
You're like, oh, these guys are easy. Oh, they got advantage. They only do 1 damage. Plus their dex mod.
Which is like
plus 7. So they're just running like, they get 3 attacks too, with advantage. But they only do 1 damage, plus their dex mod.
But that's 24
There's 24 damage.
I was like, there. I
You
think
mean like those spiky boys that killed Ava?
What?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't die in
I
that.
don't remember that either.
All right, thank you, Jeff. That was fun.
thank you so
I really
much, Jeff.
It
enjoyed
was
it.
awesome, dude.
Enjoyed all y'all being here, playing some one-shottage.
Yep.
I enjoyed
Went a little late, but that's
journeying back
No,
to
you know
the
what?
Empire.
Now we
can raid
we can
Straticus back.
counter raid Straticus back. So let's
Nice,
do that. In terms of what we got coming up tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern Time, Adventure Engineers with me and Kelsey Dion from the Arcane Library. Sunday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Waterdeep Dragon Heist Season 2.
Oh my
Getting
God.
Start of
off in
season
the
2.
aftermath
I'm-
of some bullshit.
I'm still mad and I'm still bitter and I don't even want to talk about it yet.
Cool. I can dig that. That's how you know you're doing a good job as a
Really.
DM.
Did you break her foot?
No, I didn't.
Just our
She did that
hearts.
herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just our hearts.
And finally, Tuesday night,
Yes.
we're back with Chronicles of Peril.
Very special
It's a
chronicle.
very special episode of Chronicles of Peril.
Especially
with some
because I might be there.
special guest stars.
Spoiler.
All, the
All right.
Spoilers.
Me. Isabel's playing. It's going to be
I have a
chaos.
question. The dice, do those carry over to anywhere?
Sometimes we let them carry over. Maybe we will. We did have 4 remaining. So thank you all for
Yeah.
your generosity.
Yeah, thank you
much
so much.
appreciated. We'll try to put them to good use somewhere. Maybe we'll let next game. Sunday night. Maybe I'll let y'all start with an automatic D20. We convert. If you
Nice.
get to 5, you convert it to an automatic
Yeah,
D20.
I think that
or an automatic natural 20.
I just, I think that's
Yeah,
generous.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
fair. We don't want to
Thank
just let
you.
them go to
I
waste.
feel
so.
better about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Thank
we
you,
will
everyone.
do that Sunday night. Don't
Thank
let me
you,
forget.
guys.
This is on you guys. Sunday night, you start with 1 nat 20. As
I'll never let you forget that. Can I undo that fireball?
Raid is launching. See you
Yeah.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate ya.
Thank you.
Except for the 2 we had last session that we never used.